Welcome, everybody. So excited to see so many beautiful people here today. Let us know in the chat where you're coming in from. I'm sorry about my glasses, my usual ones, which don't reflect so much. I have lost sight a little bit. Who can relate? Who can understand and relate that? Yes. And these ones, while they are fantastic for my eyes, they're absolutely terrible for the reflection of the glasses. So I'm sorry that we're going to get a bit of that today. But now that you know it, you can relax and know that I'm aware as well, and I'm sorry. And if I can get really good, what I'll do is I'll take my glasses off completely, but that makes it hard for me to see the slides. Stephanie, lovely to see you in the house. Where are you coming in from today? Hallie, lovely to see you in the house. Chandri, Rahini, Carolyn, lovely to put your camera on if you can. We love seeing the faces. All the beautiful women of the summit coming into you today from all over the world. Connie, lovely to see you. Where are you coming in from? Los Angeles, Canberra, BC, Canada, Utah, Georgia, beautiful New Ulm, Texas, Scotch Plains, New Jersey, Chicago. Wow, Adelaide. Here we go. Hey, I'm going to ask one of my sisters here to just send a DM to Nicola Spencer, who is going to open today for us, to see is she coming in or not. She's a beautiful woman from Adelaide, which prompted me, I can't see her face here. And she's also a school aide, and she's sliding her side hustle in between beginning her working day where kids are coming back from holidays. So I wanted to let her get on first. But welcome, everybody. I really want to acknowledge, first of all, that it's amazing when women gather. Would you not agree? Like when we come together from all over the world. Thank you, the pandemic, that made us all get visible and take up the mantle of Zooming one another and being in presence with each other. I think it's incredible to have that technology that brings us all. So many of you I've met in person and I didn't know you before the pandemic. That's an incredible reality. Who here has met people and connected with people through this medium like never before, right? So we can't be more grateful for this incredible technology. So the summit's called Seen and Sovereign. And some people go, what is sovereign, Sally? What does that even mean? We all seem to know what being seen is, but seen and sovereign together is particular. It means you're willing to show up and show up as you are. And sovereign means to have at its kind of dictionary meaning, means to actually have independence and control, personal independence and control, that you can actually choose for yourself what you do. And believe it or not, this is one of the rarest times in history that women have had this ability to do this. And in fact, gender norms are so all over the place that even if you don't identify as a woman or as a man, you too are allowed to be seen in many places of the world. In many places of the world, you're not. So we're here today as privileged women. And I really want to acknowledge that we're here on the kind of shoulders of ancestors. And so to open, it's customary on the land on which I stand to pay our respects to the traditional owners and the traditional owners of the land on which I stand. I'm very fortunate. I also have ancestral lineage too, which is the Wiradjuri, the Darug and the Gundungurra people, to the elders past, present, and emerging. The ancestors, it is like a spiritual invitation and recognition that for millennia, since the beginning of time, there were people here who were custodians of the land, well, long before anyone else that was white or from any other nation came to be. And so I really want to just acknowledge and respect that this is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I also want to acknowledge your ancestors and wherever it is that your feet are now landed and grounded to, where you stand, you work, you play, you love, that too had traditional owners. And perhaps you're fortunate enough too that your ancestral line runs it. But here's what I know to be true. If you can feel your feet on the ground, the energetic force of your ancestors is already with you. It's with you in spirit, with body, with mind. It's within a frequency. And the eternal timelessness that we are as these spiritual beings to be present. And so you can feel into and pay respects to your ancestors wherever they are, wherever it is your lineage has brought you here today from. And that this presence, this idea, this notion that we are not, it doesn't evaporate, but that what we bring to any area, place, or space that we are continues. There's a continuum. And perhaps now with AI and with technology, the continuum is in areas like this, in spaces and places where we record ourselves, where we are seen through technology, and that gets bottled somehow and shows up. Recently, I've been thinking about that moment in Star Wars where Princess Leia appears. Do you all remember it? She appears as an apparition through not through C3PO, but through the what was the little robot. Remember, it's beamed out. And we come to learn that that was her many, many moons ago, but that she had a message. And we're living in that time. Your messages will be beamed in the future. And so being seen and being sovereign is about having the choice to share what it is that you do and what you know from your place of lived wisdom and giving it to someone else, offering it to someone else at a time and a space that you may never meet them. Or you may think, oh my God, this is the guide and the mentor I'm looking for. You may have that feeling today that I want to be with this person. This person can help me on the next line of my journey. And so the Seen and Sovereign Summit is just a kind of, it's like a round robin, focusing on the health, the wealth, and the purpose that women might be feeling today. And so taking a big deep breath in, everybody, collectively, looking at the screen, identifying that we're not alone, that there are other people here with us. And for those of you watching the replay or beamed out in 250 million years, because who knows, welcome. Open, feel into the beauty of this. Somehow, some way, you will be accessing a gift from each of these people. But this is a moment to just go inside and think about your health, your wealth, and your purpose. And what if there was a part of your life in one of those areas that could actually grow a little bit more, where you could have a little bit more transformation, where in fact you could get a little bit more support. You might need a little bit of help. And so just, is it health? Have you had a diagnosis recently? Are you avoiding some part of your physical being or your body or your mental approach to life? How is your health? Just rate it for yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How is your health? Scale of 1 to 10. And then think about where you are in your wealth journey. Are you still building? Are you growing? Are you sharing? Are you shedding? Are you retiring? Where are you? Are you reinvesting in yourself? Are you changing space or place? Are you embarking on a new kind of financial venture? Where are you with your wealth? Are you at a point of philanthropy? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you with your wealth in your life? It doesn't have to be overthought. Just 1 to 10 it. 1 being not so great, in fact, really need some help, and 10 being I'm silent on this area. And then what about your purpose? Are you living here with purpose? Are you speaking from purpose? In every part of your life, when you're showing up, do you feel, yeah, I'm really fulfilled, I'm satisfied, I'm where I want to be? And pop that down in a scale of 1 to 10. So are we at health, wealth, or purpose? And then just allow your being to take in, add to the conversation. If someone suggests something or you hear something that you agree with or disagree with, pop it in the chat. But here's what I'm going to ask, is that when you do share in the chat, if you could be mindful and respectful, and that opinions are like armpits. Most of us have them, okay? But if you've got something to really give, give. And really encourage each other. Everybody that's here has taken a step, a bold step to be visible. And who would agree that's quite brave? It's quite brave and courageous to show up, because we were not the generation that grew up with a little phone in your hand and told to take selfies. Many of us didn't even finish, university or even a late stage high school. We've gone on to re-educate ourselves. Many of us have multiple degrees. So we're coming from a whole range of lived experiences. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is to choose an emoji that you really love. So when you're really happy and you really like someone, choose an emoji and pop that in the chat for me. Just so you get used to. And if you don't know how to choose an emoji, there's a little smiley face. Dancing, roses, love hearts, smiley faces, beautiful. I just love celebrating. I really, really love parties and fun. Oh, Audrey's got it going up all the way through her screen. I love that. Thanks, Chandri. Lovely for you to drop in. Watch the replay. Connie Lego, rainbow horses. I love that. Stars, beautiful. So if you hear something you like, drop that. Or if you get an aha, drop that. So I just want to now jump straight in. And right now also, which area are you focused on? Health, wealth, or purpose? Which do you think might need a little bit more love from you, a little bit more support, or a little bit like, I need more, something in this area? Is it in health, wealth, or purpose? Health, wealth, or purpose. What's your current focus? Mine is definitely wealth. I'm in this with you, ladies. While I'll be hosting it, I want to also introduce to you my beautiful actual biological sister, Inga Madgwick. So we'll bring her to the spotlight with us, Tanya. So they're both together on the stage so people can get a sense of who she is. Purpose is coming up a lot. Wealth, 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 health, wealth, wealth, health. Beautiful. We're all here at different stages, which is why it's seen and sovereign and under those banners, those kind of pillars. This is Inga. She is a magical sister. She has been working with me for the last 5 years after a long career in London and a mother of 3 beautiful girls, nieces to me, which I'm very blessed to have. She really is an expert video stylist, and she curates and advises people with on-camera presence, wardrobe and background, where that's a connection. And I'm hoping that you see every speaker here today has had her magic shine all over them, and that so that they have an authentic belief and knowing about themselves, and that what they bring to the camera loves naturally. So that's about not just putting any color or splashing anything in, but really thinking about what it is they bring to the world, who it is that they're wanting to serve, and then creating a frame that absolutely elevates that and amplifies it. She's an absolute genius. She has a beautiful, engaging, and kindness about her, and I love her as my sister. So hi and welcome. She'll be co-hosting. Sometimes I can overtalk and she might go, you're talking too much or whatever. She reins me in a little bit.
I do this
something.
step in.
She'll step in. And we together have been running Evolve and programs like Evolve for women just like you, hundreds of women over the last 5 years. And she and I had never been on camera before. We had got on in the pandemic and she saw me do a live, which was for a competition. And she said, what are you doing? And then we just began helping other women do this. And it's been such a joy and pleasure for us to do it. And culminating in realizing that I love to interview women and find out more and help more. Inga, what's been the greatest thing that you've found about working with women and seeing them get visible and take ownership of their sovereignty with their gifts and wisdom share in this space of video?
Oh gosh, Sal, I should have had like some questions ready answered. What's been the greatest thing? Just seeing women step into their confidence, really, like thinking that they can't go on worrying overly about the way they look or that they might be judged on camera, like just that block about even pressing go live. And so that's what we've mostly been working towards. And it's been just a real pleasure to help them kind of streamline their clothing choices so they have a capsule wardrobe so it's easy for them. They don't have to think about it too much.
And what would you say, ladies, to Inga? Has it become easier for you to just need to get on camera in 5 minutes? I know our second speaker, or maybe have we found Nicola yet? Just someone can pop in the chat for me. Is Nicola present? She's not yet present yet. Okay, so we're going to start with Alison. Alison, you're going to have to be up first, my love, which is kind of going to be pertinent because Alison's traveling. She's been traveling all around the world, working with her spiritual community. She's an incredible coach and mentor and retreat leader and She actually has the trademark for Sovereign Woman. She's a forward-thinking entrepreneur. She's incredible. And she just said, oh, I've just had to jump in off traveling. And if we bring Alison to the stage, you can see just how absolutely beautiful and gorgeous she is, just like in 5 minutes. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, yeah, I definitely want my presence up leveled, I want to have a personal brand, I want to be able to go on video at the drop of a hat and feel comfortable, we'll definitely be able to get a free gift at the end. Our free gift for mine and Inga's is also with all the other ladies, and you can click on the link and it's 5 keys to help yourself look better. Thanks, Inga. And Alison, welcome.
Thank you. I'm like grinning from that welcome, your description, but thank you.
Yeah. So give Alison some chef. I mean, does she absolutely look amazing or what? She's like, Inga's like, is that a fake background or is that real? She's like, yeah, no, just whipped it up together. So
It just landed, yeah.
You just look incredible. So Alison, tell us, you have just been overseas. Where have you been?
I've been in Madrid and Barcelona.
And you told me a little bit, you're a coach really who helps women break free from kind of limitations. And I think with the word sovereign being in it, which is one of the reasons why I want to put you up the front, what would you say was a moment for you that made you realize that you were not sovereign? Like, how did you know that you were struggling with your own limitations?
Well, when I discovered sovereignty, it was way back in the day in 2006 when I heard of it. Okay. And it was through a communication with Mary Magdalene. So I was like, heck, what? Sovereignty? You know, it wasn't a buzzword then. And she encouraged me strongly to discover it. And it took about way over a decade to really see the difference. I tripped over wanting to be liked, but also was born wanting to be sovereign. And so there was always this fight that kept me isolated from people. At the end of the day, it was a really bad relationship where I wanted it to work so much that I tolerated the intolerable, being so poorly treated by his children, infidelity like all the time, promises broken, and each thing I tolerated chipped a part of me. Yeah, right. Chipped a part of me away. And so I was unleashed on this path to discover sovereignty. And it's been exciting. And it has so much to do with purpose and what this gathering is about. Because as you named, women have hit a new stage of evolution, and it's super exciting. But with it, there's a new set of pain. Frustration. Women, like in the 70s, we couldn't have credit, right? Now we're CEOs of the largest companies in the world. How exciting is that? But more women are depressed than ever and struggling because there is this untapped yearning at the level of destiny, which is really our purpose, is to discover our destiny, like an acorn is to become an oak.
Indeed, indeed. And so what are
Right?
some of the steps that you yourself have taken, like broad brushstrokes, right? Like, so there's the awakening, there's the moment, there's the turning point of, I'm not sovereign, I'm not living to my purpose, I'm limited in my being, and I'm accepting bad behavior and I'm allowing these things. So there's that kind of moment of crush. But then there's the like, and then I did this, and then I did that, and then I did this, and now I'm here. Is it, and you said that Mary Magdalena came and visited you. Is that right? Have I got that right? Say a little bit
You
more
got
about that.
that real right. And it was the most frightening and exciting experience of my life because I wasn't that person that, I wasn't religious,
No, you were in the stock market, right, or something. You're in the
I
finance
was
industry.
in Wall Street and I was doing all these things. I grew up in a very intellectual family where degrees was God, that was God.
yeah, I
Just
feel
get
that.
another, and it should be Harvard or Yale. It should be, a top, then you have authority to open your mouth, right?
Right.
If
This
it's
idea
peer
of
reviewed, if
authority,
it's peer
right? This
reviewed,
idea of
right?
authority. Who can relate that this idea of authority comes from others, that it's from society, that it's from your career, that it's from your family? Papa, yes, if you can relate to this, like that authority in the past for women is the outside. It's not within.
Mhm,
And so who
mhm.
else here can identify? And one of the reasons why I love the group of women that have gathered here today is we all have this kind of spiritual edge. I would not say religious. I would say there's something within us that has something else. And it's one of the reasons that Inga and I really opened our minds in a very new way. I came from the film industry, a bit like you, Alison, like very rigid thinking and who you are and hierarchical and everything. And then what we realized, so he's had a spiritual awakening? I would call Alison a spiritual awakening, right? Someone visits you outside. So drop a yes, spiritual awakening, put something in. Have you had that? Have you experienced it? And this is not to diss religion. I believe, however it shows up for you is a spiritual effect.
Mm.
Yes. I mean, look at that, right?
Yes, look at this. I mean, this is exciting. Yeah.
And maybe it's to country. Maybe it's you're walking on land and you have a moment. Or have you ever thought, no, a voice told me to do this? That's all part of sovereignty. Would you agree, Alison?
It is because eventually it leads you to the only teacher there is, and that's the inner teacher, the inner guru. That's where all this yearning, this frustration that women are feeling right now, it's a greatest sign because it's going to point to the greatest inward journey. Well, the greatest journey you'll ever take, and it's inward to know thyself. And that is sovereignty.
Beautiful. Thank you. And so you've got a little something that you're going to offer to people that they can
I
maybe go on the
am,
steps to do this
yes.
themselves. So have a look and get to know what being a sovereign woman might mean a little more.
Yeah, it's a little wee ebook called the Embodying the Full Feminine, a woman's guide to liberation from the virgin whore divide. And it's the beginning of a big book that I'm writing. It's getting some of my basic ideas down. But with some of the work I do, we uncover the hidden wounds, the inner glass ceiling that as women we bump up against and we don't even know it. And shame is one of the biggest universal core wounds. And the area of shame that is huge is this virgin or struggle that keeps us from being whole in our body, powerful in our body. And I can go on for 5 hours about this and Mary Magdalene being called a prostitute, and now she's so over sexualized. That's kind of like the other side of the same coin. But it's not necessarily sovereignty and spiritual sovereignty and sensual sovereignty. So healing this shame wound is
Love that.
essential.
I love that. It's beautiful from a place of lived experience as well, which I love about Alison.
Oh, yes. I
Stay
had a
to
lot
the
of
end, and there's a
concubines.
sheet where you
Yeah.
can get all of the gifts, ladies. So if you stay to the end, we're going to give you a sheet. It's going to have all of the gifts, so you can click on it, and you'll get that gift, and you'll also be able to then be followed up with and be in touch with Alison. You can also find her. Where can we find you? Facebook, Instagram. Where are you most?
Facebook.
And do you want to
Instagram a little bit, but Facebook.
Perfect. So pop in
there
the
all the
chat
time.
for us when we go, so where people can find you in your Facebook profile, and feel free to
Yeah.
follow, like, and share and join
Mhm.
Alison on the journey to your own sovereignty. Thank you for being a part of Seen and
Thank
Sovereign today.
you. Thank you. Yeah,
your
it was
wisdom.
so great to be here. Can't wait to hear everyone else.
Thank you. Awesome. And next up is Renee Varnador, almost like following through. We'll get Renee up on stage if we can, Tanya. And can we do it with two of us on at once, or have I Let me know where there she is. The God, this is amazing. This was definitely meeting Renee this year and working with her more closely. We met a few years ago, and this year we've been much more in touch. And she really blew my mind when she came roaring out of the gate one day, and I said, "What do you do?" And she said, "Well, I am a galactic anchor for spiritual trailblazers." I was like, whoa, hold the phone. What is a galactic anchor? So tell us, Renee, welcome. What is a galactic anchor?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you have to anchor in the light and the ahas and the insights that you're receiving, right? So I'm an astrologer, right? And then adding that a layer onto that is a galactic astrologer. And a galactic astrologer also looks at the stars and looks at cosmic points and nebula and all this other kinds of, all these things in the universe that are sending light to us to support us at this time of transition when we're going through this huge evolution on the planet.
I love that. Isn't that an interesting way? Because I've always just thought about astrology as I'm born here, so I must be a Pisces, right? Like I'm a Pisces. I think that means I'm a bit, I can swim this way or that way, that kind of identify with that. So say a bit more about that. I loved it that it expanded out into a galactic, a galaxy, a much more broader interconnectedness, and that this idea through light. So how did you get into that? Was that what you've always done? Tell me a bit about what was your moment of, oh, I'm going to be a galactic astrologer.
I actually started following astrology during the pandemic because nobody seemed to know what the heck was going on. But the astrologers were like, oh, look, it's all of these planets are in Capricorn and they're all doing, and I'm like, what? And then they started doing all of these internal meditations, and then they were doing all of this, calling in the 4 directions or the 7 directions, and I'm like, okay, I've got to do that. And then I came up with a song to bring in the 7 directions, and then I bring in the archangels with the 7 directions. But what I discovered about these astrologers, especially when I started with galactic astrology, is that our astrology chart is more than just, oh, my sun sign is Leo, therefore, I like to ham it up on stage. It's a lot more than that. It's a huge, complex pattern of archetypes that all work together and talk to each other. And when I had huge changes in insights in breaking open, it was this, I found out when I had my first astrology reading from a professional astrologer that this is the same transit happening to me for me 30 years later. And when I realized that, I started realizing that if I understand the archetypal patterns of the planets that are at play, when I have my insights and my openings, I can understand quicker what is going on. And I can help my clients who come in for galactic astrology readings understand what is happening, going on. It's like,
so in a practical, real world sense, how does that manifest with health or wealth or purpose? What is the ways that we can, in a layperson's language, because I know that your gift is going to offer up some insights into the archetypes. So what is a practical insight way that you use it? Like I said, you weren't like this always. So now I know that you're about to buy a house, right? Like, are you using it in this realm, or you're moving house or country? Is that right?
So yes, so my husband and I have been planning to move, and it kept changing as Mars and Pluto have been acting opposite each other, and they're 2 really powerful planets. Mars is action and Pluto is transformation. And when the 2 of them are opposite exact, I could look at all of the things that are happening with my husband and I searching for where we're going to live, because before Pluto and Mars came together, we're going to move to France, and then the first one that came through, there was so much fear that came up in me that I was like, no, 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 we can't move to France. We're going to move to Mexico City. We're going to move to Puebla. So and then I'm like thinking, oh yeah, we're going to have a house in Puebla and a house in, all of this stuff. And then the third one comes up and I realized, no, a whole thing about selling my mom's house came up during that one. And then that wasn't going to happen. And then in this last one, the third time's the charm, figuring out what in the world Pluto and Mars were trying to tell me. And it's like, dude, I only need one house. I can let go of all my furniture and all my stuff because I don't really need all my stuff. I want to
So
travel
how
the
does
world.
that come to you? Is it in messaging? Is it like by looking at the chart? Is it when you're working with people? What is it? It's like, this is here and this is what this planet's saying at this time. And how
Yeah,
do you, how does that, so it's the archetypes applied through meditation, or what is it?
So yeah, I mean, I have meditations in them. Like I get woken up at 2 and 3 in the morning, and it's like, oh, the light's coming in. I'm going to receive the light. Now, I used to not know what all of that meant. I used to not know what I was receiving, but I'm like, okay, whoa, I just received something last night. Let me go to the chart and see what it was. Oh, look, the moon is right on this star Arcturus. So I was talking to the Arcturians last night. Got it. Okay, now I understand there's emotional healing going on because that's what the Arcturians help us with.
Oh, beautiful. So it's a direct guidance through it. I think, I hope that helps people understand that it's not just charting from paper, but it's listening and then referring back to. So can I ask a question?
Sure.
And who here is like, wow, this is so far out, I've never heard anything like, Emily's like, wow, 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 right? Like once you start to understand that this is a channel of light that can be translated, if you will, through understanding patterns. And it's that interconnectedness, I think, too, of, the most simple and basic for me is fishermen fish at different stages of the moon. Energy and light force is all within us. And so I think it is a really interesting, and you have a YouTube show. So I'm going to get you to put the link down there so people can learn more and like, follow, and subscribe. And then tell us a little bit about the gift that you're offering.
Okay. Yeah. I do YouTube videos all the time about what's going on at the new moon. And at the new moon yesterday, we were connected to the star Shetter, which is the star that helps us claim our sovereignty. And I went, oh my gosh, that's what we're doing right here today, is claiming our sovereignty. So we've got a star helping us.
Beautiful.
So if that's what you're here wanting to do, just open to receive that energy coming to you.
But so let's all open to receive that energy of being sovereign, because we're here and in it, and you've said yes to you, and wherever you are, as I said, watching back on the replay, this is capturing time. We're capturing time and allowing other people to be a part of it for a long time. Staying with an open mind, I think, is so important, don't you? It's not one way. There's like, which way works for me now? Why not try it? So what is the gift that you're offering, Renee?
So I've been working with the archangels for a very, very long time. And when I discovered in my galactic astrology class that there were 4 royal stars connected to the 4 major archangels that we've all heard of, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, if we understand how these archangels and their stars are helping us at this time, that they are supporting us, that we are always supported, always have been supported at every moment. We just have to tune in and ask. And so this handout helps you know more about each of these 4 major archangels and these stars, so that you can know that no matter what is happening, no matter what kind of crazy conflict that Pluto and Mars are up to in your life, that there is always support here with us. And when we can understand something about that support that's coming to us, then we're like, oh, I know how to use this now.
So this is a guide you're giving us. What's it called that you're giving us?
It's called the Archangels 4 Royal Stars handout, and it's got the 4 archangels I just mentioned. plus a little history about how they came. They're ancient,
Beautiful.
3,000 years ago, people came up with this.
So thank you so much for sharing that wisdom and giving us some insight into another way to view the lens of being part of universal beings. Pop your YouTube channel in the chat so that people can join, like, subscribe, and go. And everyone, you'll get the gift at the end if you stay, or it'll be sent to you in an email later where you can get everybody's. And give Renee some love. Thank you for being here with us today and sharing your wisdom, being seen and sovereign. And then we've got the beautiful Nicola Spencer in the house. Nicola, are you able to get on camera? And we'll get Tanya to bring you to the stage, please. Hey, Nicola. You were given a big warm welcome. I can't
still
quite see
muted.
you with me yet, but I'm sure you'll come in a minute. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome from Adelaide.
you.
This is amazing, Nicola, who has slotted us into her busy working week. This is the amazing thing, I think, about technology and about having side hustles that you want to make your main hustle. And thank you for making the time and sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You are an incredible coach for women to reignite their lives, rediscover purpose, and rise with confidence through human design and transformative retreats and coaching. And recently, what I saw you do, Nicola, was stand up and be seen and sovereign and call out abuse online and in a really powerful way. I want to acknowledge that you were amazing in that. And I'm going to ask you to put a link to your Facebook when we finish. And ladies, go back and have a look and just see the absolute bravery that Nicola brought to the stage to say, I'm not accepting inappropriate phone calls and inappropriate text messaging from someone in a community group. Who would agree that's incredibly brave, right? That it is so hard to call out bad behavior by men if you're a woman over at any age or stage and in community groups. And so to do that is just incredible. You are seen and sovereign. I have seen you change and shape yourself so massively, but I want to hear from you about human design. We've just heard about galactic astrology. We've heard about visitations from Mary Magdalene. So you're in the right room and you would have missed the chat where I said, anyone else had a spiritual awakening? What was your awakening to human design?
It was, now I'm a manifesting generator. So I am open to everything that kind of comes my way. I'm always looking for signs to respond to. But I feel as if I was introduced to human design in the way of a projector, and a projector is someone who's waiting for the invitation. And I was just having a conversation with a friend at a picnic, and she was talking about human design, and I didn't really know what it was, but then she had said that a friend, like a mutual friend that we had, is a reader, and I should contact her. And then she was at that picnic, and it was kind of as if like I was waiting for an invitation and all the signs were there. And I went into it not really fully understanding like the implications and where this journey was going to take me. So instead of having a reading, I signed up to be a reader. And it was amazing. It's opened up so many opportunities for me.
Beautiful. And so what is a practical way that you can say human design has impacted your life?
Okay, so there are many different, and there's 5 energy types in human design. As I said,
But
I'm
for
a
you, what's
Yep,
it done for you?
So as I'm a manifesting generator, it has taught me that I've got a really wide aura. I attract a lot of things, and the things that I attract, I don't necessarily have to do everything. And it's really giving me, like, I call it like a filtering system where I can really work out what is aligned for me and what isn't, and I can happily just let it go. Without judging myself. Before human design, I used to judge myself a lot about being flaky, or I was never a finisher. I would always be that person, and I still am. Start a book and never finish it.
Who
You know,
can
those,
relate to that? Who can relate that you feel like you get interested in something, you start something, but you don't finish? But then this idea of shame keeps coming up with purpose and sovereignty, right? That we like so hard on ourselves, but then we get these tools or work with guides, and all of a sudden that which was a negative can be flipped and all of a sudden it's still there, but it's not hooky or holding you back. You can step more. Am I getting that right? More into fulfillment, more into satisfaction?
Yes, that's right. And it's, satisfaction is actually my theme, that I know that everything's going correct as well. So it's I can tell when I'm frustrated, and I know that it's a sign from within my body that I need to change direction or change something. And there's tasks that we all have to do every day that we can't avoid. But if I'm feeling frustrated about it, I just stop it, go and do something else, and then come back, and my energy has changed a little bit as well. So
And from a bigger picture perspective with human design, because I know you are a teacher and you've got a bigger call to run retreats, in the last year or since you've started human design and you really started to enter into that, what are some of the things you've actually created that, because you haven't been spinning your wheels, because you haven't been in shame, what are some of the things that you have created?
well, I've been actually studying human design for 4 years.
Wow.
And I have, my business now is 3 years old. And in my business, I have a women's group. I have started a podcast this year as well. And I have created a lot of programs within my business, which I just love them. They feel like they're really aligned to me. But then if I feel like something is not right, I will stop it. I won't just continue doing something just because I've created it and I can't let go of it. So yeah, I guess my women's group is a free group, and it's not a very large group, but we have like a lot of interactions in there. So that's probably like the main thing that I've created for this, but also I've created the desire for a change of career as well.
Wow.
I know what direction I want to go in.
Beautiful. So your purpose has come, realigned itself, realign that. They say, to be 1% off a North Star, if you imagine if on a map and if you took an aeroplane and you went off a 1 degree, you'd end up like literally in a completely different destination. And so would you agree that I've heard people say human design is like it aligns you back to that, North Star. It can give you the power. And I mean, it's another one of these modalities of becoming sovereign, of really knowing yourself, that inner work that everybody's already talked about, that there are these parts of us, but that for whatever reason, now is the time that we're getting to explore them. It's not that we haven't, it's just that the evolution of life has all brought us here to this point where there's an interest and openness and a miraculously permission to speak about it.
Yeah.
How do people in your world find it?
They don't necessarily, depending on which circle I'm in, they don't necessarily understand it. They don't understand it, but then those that really do kind of like connect with it, their minds are blown by how accurate. When I do, like, normally if I do a reading for someone that I know, I often will sit there with a great big grin on my face as I'm working out the reading, because I just can see a whole heap of opportunities opening up for them. And you use the word permission, and this is one of the things that I use to describe human design. It is like your ultimate permission slip to live your life how you want to. And you've got the tools within it to know that you're making the right decisions. And for me, this is one of the biggest part of human design, is making aligned decisions in line with your human design type as well as with your values.
Yeah, beautiful. So the gift that you're giving, what is that?
So the gift I'm giving is my values ebook to work out your
great.
values. Yeah, to work out your values. Because when we live in line with our 5 top values, everything will come together. But then when you also know your human design authority type as well, it's like your ultimate superpower.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I've definitely seen you rise, shine, and continue to be more visible, continue to make opportunities for yourself, to invite people into your world. Congratulations on the podcast. Please put that definitely in. People are asking, go back and look through the chat.
Yeah.
make sure you give them the name of the podcast, and you'll get the values sheet at the end with the gift, with everybody else's gifts. It's all done in one nice, easy package so everyone can get it. But please do put your podcast there so we can follow you on that. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy day and schedule to come and share your story and a little bit of who you are, about how being seen and sovereign is really imperative at this time and day and age, if you feel that call, right? If you
Yeah.
felt at some point that you really want to be seen and you really want to share your gifts to the world, that's totally possible. These women are doing it. They're creating content. They're sharing.
Mhm.
They're talking about it. It's no longer hidden behind in cupboards. And there are circles where we're not welcome, or that it's unusual, but slowly and surely, by remaining true to your own purpose and your values, what I hear you say is that you absolutely can continue and change into your career and find new ways, which I think also speaks to wealth. I think we should be paid for doing what we want and what we're good at. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Nicola.
you.
Enjoy the
You're
rest of your
welcome.
day, lovely.
Thank
What's the name
you.
of the podcast?
The Heart Path podcast.
Beautiful. And where do we find it?
It's only on YouTube at this point. Yeah,
Okay,
YouTube.
beautiful. Heart Path podcast on
Yes.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, my love.
Thank
Have a
you.
beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
Definitely drop that into the chat. So we're whipping through them. If you've had an aha, or there's something you want to ask a question of somebody, feel free to also put that into the chat, and people will get back to you. If you've got anything, any questions, let us just drop it in the chat, and we'll print the chat and send it to all those sharers and speakers. So I want to bring to the stage now Ingrid. Hello, welcome. Coming in from Canberra.
Hello. Hi, Sal. Hi, everybody. How are you today?
I'm great and good to see you. Ingrid is a speaker and a mentor for the mindset and ways to lead with soul and strategically shape impact that you want to bring through something called the Feminine Futures Foundation model. She teaches emerging leaders and women with big dreams to master themselves, their mindset, and in order to have a different business strategy or a way to network and communicate with each other, and really to sort of stand up and out and against outdated patriarchal structures. What made you want to take on patriarchal structures, Ingrid? That's a big one, right? In the seen and sovereign world that we've been talking about, we've sort of going from, the very esoteric and spiritual to some very grounded realities that we live in a patriarchal structure.
Yeah, it's probably a fairly recent thing, and it's part of the whole, I guess, re-emerging back into the spotlight. I had some time off with health over the last sort of 12, 18 months, and about November last year, I just felt like I didn't know what my purpose was anymore, and I was cranky at the world because what I thought I wanted to do, I hadn't done. And I went to a retreat in Bali, and everything just kind of came crashing in on me, I guess.
As it does, ladies. Who would agree? It's never like a subtle, they say, the way of it's never subtle, is it? It's kind of like, who else has had like a crash where you just like, can't do it, or it's not working, or who else? Pop your hand up and just let's see. Has anyone else ever experienced that kind of cataclysmic implosion or explosion of life? Yeah, beautiful.
And so since November, the more I've sort of started to think about refining my story and what it is I really want to do, the anger that's kind of starting to bubble inside of me, and I'm not an angry person at all, is that there is still this everywhere we look as women, we're brought up within patriarchal structures. All of us here know that the way we were brought up to get shit done. We were brought up to, tussle and compete with each other. And, somebody said to me the other day, I can out-masculine the best of the masculines. And I can too. I had 3 brothers. So, I started, and part of my shift has been doing a whole year of recovery and allowing and learning to touch back into my intuition and trying to understand what flow meant as opposed to push, 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 push all the time. And so I've gotten to this stage now where I'm, looking at refining balance. And I think balance is a real key thing for us as women to understand, understand that beautiful part of the masculine energy that we have that helps us get stuff done and make a difference, but also that beautiful part of the feminine that is all about allowing and trusting our intuition. So for me, it just feels like the patriarchy is something that doesn't help either men or women. And it is time to break that shit apart. You only have to look at, Trump and Putin and all those people in the world at the moment who are just making a dog's breakfast of our planet. And the only way I see that we can change this is if we at least get to balance in our voices around the world, in communities, in politics, in businesses. It's not about women taking over the world, but it sure as eggs is about getting to a point where we have as much say as anybody else in this world. And I think, like, Alison has talked about, and like Renee's talked about, the energy is rising. The women's energy is rising. And over the next couple of years, there are so many changes that I think will unravel for women. I was reading some stats recently, and by 2030, women will control $3 trillion worth of the world's wealth, and that is more than the combined GDP of China and Japan. So, wealth, as we know, when we look at some of the men in this world, it allows us to own some more power. So I'm really looking forward to the next, I guess, set of, the next couple of years, because, I just look around this room and I look around in the places that I am, I guess, speaking to other women, and I'm like, yes, we all feel it somewhere deep inside. We're all feeling a calling, whether it's a little calling or a big calling, it doesn't matter. We all know that it's time, and it's time to rise, and it's time to unmute ourselves and become unstoppable.
I love that. It's very motivational to think about at any age, at any stage, you can have your voice, find it, step up and use that anger for passion to change is really important. That anger is also welcome. Like, you're not an angry person, that's fine, but anger is a motivator. Anger is an action, it's an action calling card, and to welcome that in a way rather than to fight it or to push, but to just be with it and see where does that action of anger want to take us, I think is really important for women as well, because they did a study. I don't know if you've known about this or heard about it, but they did a study with a woman who in business, let's call her Alison Johns, for Alison Smith. And a Harvard guy took her proposal in business and her program, and all he did was change the name to, let's call it Aaron Smith. And he sent it out into the world and then asked for feedback. And Alison's one came back, it's too aggressive. And Aaron's one was held up as wonderful leadership, wonderful all this thing. Nothing had changed except the name, ladies. It's a very interesting reality. That's a patriarchal structure. That's something that we don't even realize. No one was conscious except through the name as a feminized name. It's really interesting to think about. And the masculine and the feminine within a patriarchy can also start to change it. Because the matriarchy is not good either. And like you say, the balance between two is really healthy. I mean, I prefer a matriarchal system to a patriarchal system, but I would. So I think that what is it about feminine focused futures that you're really starting to, what is it that you are inviting people into your world with your gift, with feminine focused futures?
I think, the journey that I have, and my journey is a lifelong journey. Like, I think sometimes when you're younger, you think that, you know, it's a linear thing and you'll just start here and you'll get there and yay, success. And, you know, in reality, despite the fact that you know somewhere for a long time that you're longing for more or you're meant for more, you will cycle and cycle, having ups and downs and things like that. And I now believe that because it is really important for the planet that women's voices are heard and raised, that we need to, all of us need to make more available resources to women who don't necessarily have resources available to them. And I feel like what I need to do is help women with their mindset, because I think that's one of the key things. And this is for life as well as for, you know, the bigger picture of sort of stacking up. And the other thing is clarity. The thing that I've realized that for a long time for me is that when you feel fuzzy, as a woman, when you feel fuzzy about what it is you want to do, when people are pulling you in different directions and telling you, you know, what's going to make more money, and you kind of waver a little bit, you're never going to get to that point where you feel happy to speak up and happy to be seen, because you're kind of not 100% sure whether it's exactly what you're thinking. So once you get that clarity, then what I want to work with women is getting that clarity, getting their mindset aligned. I do NLP, I work with hypnosis and things like that. That way, then we can tackle the what is your message that you need to get to the world, and whether your world is 50 people in the local community or whether your world is a world stage, it doesn't matter to me, because every time I can help a woman speak up about the thing that's inside of them, I know that when she speaks up, she will inspire another woman and another woman. And I feel like it's the ripple effect. It's community, it's collaboration. They're things that women are really, really good at and that we don't do enough of yet to expand our voices and to just kind of rise before anyone has time to notice that how much the balance of power has changed. We will be there.
I think that's interesting. There's the subtle movement forward, isn't there, by each of us doing our own work, and then that sort of gets brought into the community. And I love that 50 people or 5,000 the stage, you know, wherever it is that it is in having clarity. I think you said that really beautifully, that, you know, once you've got clarity, it makes it so much easier to have your message. And I too obviously believe in community and collaboration in a really big way. Thank you for bringing your gifts and your show. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this evolves for you, and how
it's very new, so it's out there.
Yeah, how we can get to be part of it. So what's the first step? You've got a little gift that you're giving us as well, some kind of way for women to connect into this. What is your...
So the gift is called 5 Power Reframes to help you stop shrinking and start leading. And really, it's I guess it's a small touch point, but it's about, I find, when you can reframe some of the beliefs that you've held for a long time. And I use the term useful belief. Come up with another useful belief. It doesn't have to, be perfectly true, but if you can believe it and you can reframe from I'm too much to I'm awesome just the way I am, and start retraining your mind, then that's the start of it. It's a small start, but it's definitely the start of it. And
reframing your false beliefs and setting your mindset up for a new reality is definitely we need these guides. So thank you. We need other people's wisdom to help show us and click us into what. So if you're looking for purpose, if one of your things is I'm not sure about my purpose, this is one you want to keep an eye out for, to really start to think, have you got some negative sabotaging mindset beliefs coming on that can maybe be reshifted and how to go. And where can we find you at the moment? Is it Facebook, or what are you doing? Where are you right now?
I am on Facebook. I am trying very hard to be on Instagram. So if you go to Instagram and follow me at Vision Mastery Coach,
Pop that
You
in the
will
chat.
see all the blunders I am making at the moment.
Great. Pop it in the chat. And this is where we start. This is being seen and sovereign. There's no rules in this new economy. There's no rules in this new world. At the moment, I always say at the moment, I do believe that we're in a very, very, very interesting moment where women of our age, like you said, are a little bit off the radar. And so they're not really coming down on us yet like they are other, but if we can get on YouTube and if you can get on a social media platform and if you can get a little bit of a following happening and bring community and build community and collaboration, there really is going to be a groundswell. But I do believe the gatekeepers are going to change in the next 18 months. I think that the governments that are around, we saw that in the inauguration where we had all the tech bros. Interestingly, we didn't have the YouTube tech bros there. It's very good. It's very interesting to watch who is there and who is not there. And so just making sure, ladies, that you're aware of where you're getting your information and supporting and liking and following those people that you know have integrity and share your values and can give you some value as well. So definitely
Can I just say one more thing, Sal? Can I just say one more thing? As the Feminine Futures Foundation develops, the other thing I'm really big on is creating a community of women who have their own skill sets like astrology or human design and things like that, that will be on this hopefully amazing platform. So at some point I will not just be looking for clients, I'll be looking for people who will be guides with me to help women in the platform that I'm building.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is a great vision. I love that, what you have for that open learning in a way and open connecting. So stay in touch, follow Ingrid on Instagram, get the gift, and let's dismantle a patriarchy that doesn't support a balance between masculinity and femininity and work towards one that does. Thank you for being part of that and bringing your gift to the world. So now we're going to do a little bit of a shift, and I'm just going to take a minute because it can be a lot to have all these different ideas coming through. So taking a minute and just do a little bit of a stretch with your arms, maybe get up and give a little bit of a wobble, just like move yourself around a bit because we're going to change tempo a little bit and with the next speaker. I'm sorry, I got a bit of a runny nose. I'm up in the mountains. Have a little drink of water. I might have a little sip of tea with you. Just wet the palate. Let me see who's got drink bottles, who's got cups that they love. Cup of tea. Everyone's got a little cup that they normally like. Who's got, I want to have a look at them all. Sometimes we get to see some beautiful pottery. Oh, look, people have got all, Shardas is pretty. See, everyone's got a little bit of, we're all quite personal. What have you got there, Sue? A little bit personal, isn't it? Oh, I love premise as well. It's quite fun, isn't it, to see? Well, ladies, we love it. We love it. We generally love a cup of tea or chai or a cup of something, don't we? Ladies, glasso. People like a glasso wine or glasso something. Kombucha, I think, is all the rage. Emily, being ever healthy, is going to stick around. She's going to do a little bit of yoga and real movement for us. So don't worry. I'll just give her, a little bit of a drink, but she's going to give us some real help here. How are you liking it so far? Drop in the chat. Has anyone had an aha or getting to feel more connected to yourself or to other women? You're not alone. I feel like I'm in the right place. How are we all going? Drop in the chat and let me get a sense of it. Soul nurturing, learning so much beautiful. So much diversity, isn't there? So much opportunity. So much wisdom, as Sharda just said. Really, we come to this place in our life and we've lived full lives. You've done a lot of things. You've either raised kids or had careers or caregiving or so many different areas of living in life. And it's not over. Women are living longer than ever. And it is this idea too that we can capture our wisdom on video and it can be legacied and kept forever. It can be cut up into small pieces and put out for the world. And so these little nuggets of wisdom that I'm hearing from people, I'll cut them up and then I put them back up onto social media for someone else to find them. It's really amazing technology. Now, as a film producer for 20 years, I can tell you, it blows my mind. It used to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to run a meeting like this. From Australia to Los Angeles, when we were doing The Matrix, it was $200,000 to have a meeting for half an hour over the internet. That's how much it cost us to get the satellites aligned, to get the people in the room. And it was 20 minutes and see you later. Like that was it. And then we had to broadcast. It was an overnight ordeal to get the rushes to go to LA for someone. I mean, it was, and now it's just immediate. I can't believe it. One of my kind of side hustle hobby ideas at the moment is to create a full film out of AI. That's what I'm going to do, I think, just as for myself, to relive my ambitions as a filmmaker, which I haven't done for a very long time. The skill set I bring, I absolutely use with Inga, and we really love to help people market themselves using video or to up-level their YouTube channel or their podcast, or just to, even as Inga said, start being confident enough to stand up and show up and speak your truth. Such an amazing thing to do. I'm running a special, I just want to say, for the Evolve and for this 48 hours until the 1st of May. If you're interested in coming and also having an opportunity to be part of the summit or to work and be creating content and video content, I'll talk about that a little bit later too. It's called Evolve Your Visibility, and there's a one-off for the people that have registered for the summit to come and be with us for a year, where we meet a couple of times a month and we learn about the technology a little bit in a way that's not overwhelming, but that gets you to actually create something and post something, and then we give feedback on that. Many of the women are here. If you want to drop me some love for how you've all found it to be part of Evolve, that would be wonderful for anyone watching or thinking or sitting on the fence about being visible themselves. We'd love that. And Sue Hookie is our next guest, if we can bring her up. She's actually been with us, I think, here on the room longer than anybody else as a client, and it's an absolute pleasure to bring her to the stage and to have watched this woman blossom from being an incredibly introverted, technophobic, can't do it, but always showing up with such a passion for her clients, such a belief in a better way of living your life with joy. Welcome to the stage, Sue Hookie, Dr. Sue Hookie of Journey with Dr. Sue.
Thank you so much, Sal.
It's so good to have you. Look at your beaming face. Give her some love. Isn't she radiant? She is amazing. Lover of nature from Melbourne in Australia. A journey practitioner, a general practitioner, which is called a doctor in Australia. I'm not sure what you call it, but a medical health practitioner, working in community health as well as general practice. And now segueing herself to be a mentor, a coach, and a meditation circle leader for people who are in caregiving roles, or anyone really, but really that kind of professional healthcare area. Or am I right when you would say that, when you feel like working with mentoring people that are in the healthcare professionals who are burnt out, struggling and stressed out, to just find another way?
Yeah, I'm seeing so many people around me in so many walks of life. Certainly in the healthcare setting, I'm seeing health professionals who are just finding life a struggle and always giving, always putting others first. And so it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're looking after a family or looking after a ward full of sick people, there is commonality of us giving and always finding our cup is empty and then spiraling down. And so I've just seen so many people go through this, and I went through it myself in a number of different ways. And so I
love that you often share about that moment where the medical system was not enough for you. It wasn't treating a part of your life where you were stressed.
Yeah, I certainly found that answers were not coming for me, and I was looking for something more to help me feel better about myself and to feel that life had meaning and purpose. And yeah, I just had a really random event happen when I was, the right book turned up in my hands at the right time, The Journey by Brandon Bays, and I just thought, this is for me. And so this opened up a door to becoming a journey practitioner, which looks at the emotional root cause of all the things that are going on in our lives. And in medicine, it's so much treating the symptoms, treating what's on the surface, but the journey is a beautiful, efficient, elegant way of getting to the emotional root cause of so many factors that are impacting our lives. And for me, it's just been transformational, and I want to share that with other people and help them have the impact on their life that it's had on me.
Yeah, I love that. It's so beautiful. And also, as a coach, what do you do?
So the journey is often helping people heal from wounds and to get their lives in order. And then as a coach, it's a different role where we help people set goals and we help people move towards some things that they would love to have in their lives. And so a coach is there not to give answers, which is what you do as a mentor. It's to help people find those answers within themselves and to support them to grow and have that growth mindset and really discover that wisdom inside and help them follow that to intuition to achieve those goals and live that purpose that's been desperate to get out inside them.
I love the combination. So there's the coaching, there's the mentoring, and then there's the counseling, and then there's also being a GP. How do you see dealing with emotional root causes having an impact on the physical? What would you say to that in your experience for yourself? Have you seen any kind of massive changes from people saying, well, I've got this ailment, but actually if when they look at the emotional root cause, what kind of case studies have you seen or witnessed yourself?
Look, there's certainly a lot of people who have like skin conditions that often when we work out what's going on underneath, their skin conditions can improve. It can be mood changes, particularly moods. Moods can be, people don't know why their moods are just not in balance and don't understand why they're feeling sad or mad and then using the journey method or some of the little tools that so in coaching, I'll use mini tools, mini aspects of the journey, and little elements of NLP or guided meditations, guided visualizations. So I use them in different ways. I use this different toolkit. And it is just a way to help people heal those parts of themselves. So it can be your mood, it can be relationships, there can be, healing of relationships and things that are around you. It's challenging to put it into a few words, all the different transformations that I've seen.
100%, I get it.
yeah.
There's a comment from Susan who says, there needs to be this is the new paradigm in healthcare where it's holistic, where it's, mind, body, and being, and the spiritual and the emotional coming into play. So we really need people like you in the world to be breaking through and being seen and saying, I stand for this and this. It's not this or that it's
Yeah.
this and that. And so what's coming up for you with the meditation circles?
So I've been wanting to start some meditation circles for quite a while, and on my website I've had a wait list for a long time for the meditation circles. So that's going to be a monthly event that's coming up in the future, and I would love to host people for healing, beautiful, intuitive meditation circles to develop a community as well where people can come and feel really at home, have a meditation that is healing, and just feel so much lighter and freer at the end of it.
I think this is a beautiful offering. So keep an eye out for that. You can also follow Sue on Facebook at this stage. So you can pop your page and your group elements into there. And what's the kind of tips that you can offer people when they get your gift today?
So my gift is Transform Your Mood from Jaded to Joyful, and it's a 6-step recipe just to help you learn some simple skills that you can apply anytime in your life. So it's encouraging people just to empty out whatever's bothering them, what's weighing them down, their burdens, learning how to leave it outside the door, some different strategies to just leave it there, park it for a while, and ground yourself in the present to be here now. Forget, the past is history, tomorrow's a mystery. Let's just be here now. It's a real gift to be in the present. And then to reconnect with some happy times, to remember those, to have triggers, ways that you can remember them and get back into those, and then just to repeat those at times. So it's easy and repeatable, and it's like a muscle, and you can just repeat and learn to use this at times that might have been normally stressful or triggering for you.
I love
So
it. It's like a one sheet, isn't it? Yours? Is that
yeah,
right?
it's
One
yeah.
sheet, and I think I saved it to my phone, like as an image, and then I was like, okay, I just want some more joy in my life today, and bringing that in, just like it's there. We can
Yeah.
use tools without it being really burdensome, can't we? We can have these small shifts, ladies, on the daily. It's not. It's that like staying North Star is like you off kilter, just bring yourself back with something small. So thank you for that gift. Keep an eye out for it. It comes at the end with everybody else's, but do put your Facebook thing here. And thank you for showing up and being such a light in the world and bringing a new way to medicine that is so needed.
Thank you, Sal. Thank you.
And then I'm going to ask Angie to come up. Now, Angie, how are we doing today with you? Are you going to do our special performance?
Yes, I am.
I'm so excited, everybody. Meet Angie Merritt, an absolute, for me, like she's a total Sheroine for me. She is out there making yoga videos. I don't know if you see her in Facebook on the feed. And, they're these like 1 minute, just do this pose. And I find myself dropping down and just doing it when Angie's on. I love it. She also has a yoga channel, and she's really inspired to live her best life and kind of has this, mission of helping rural seniors and really anyone. I'm not a rural senior quite yet, although maybe I am, but thrive with yoga, qigong, meditation, breath work, and really any life transitions that you can reduce medication, you can improve your independence, that idea of sovereignty at any age, and boost energy and joy. She's absolutely undefinable and indefatigable. Let me tell you though, she's a breathwork facilitator. I'm like, where are you now? Another part of the world. Angie's often doing stuff. And recently she dropped me a note and said, I'm in a book. Would you read this chapter for me? Amazing story. I'm going to ask her to drop that in the chat so that you can buy it if you're interested. And, just a trigger warning for people as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. I don't think I'd ever read a story such as Angie's, and with the generosity of forgiveness that she brought to it was really eye-opening for me. And so really invite you to listen now to Angie's going to actually perform for us. She's actually going to do a performance of a piece of poetry. So sit back, relax, and let's just pin her to the spotlight. And go, Angie, whenever you're ready.
All right. I wanted to preface this that this is so appropriate to our group because it's called the Crone's Heart. And in the Celtic system, there's maidens, there's mothers, queens, and the fourth level of life for a woman is the crone, which is a wise older woman. So this is the Crone's Heart. And it just fits us to a T. Having survived walking through the broken glass of emotional abuse, grief, and life struggles long enough to use the pieces to create a beautiful mosaic, and having studied words from thousands of years of the wise and holy, and my own thoughts and behaviors long enough to see which ones fit into that holy mosaic and which to discard, I know some of your pain and am moved by compassion to help you create your own mosaic from your shattered life, or help you polish your tarnished life to free that wish-granting genie trapped inside, or help you find your ease to release and heal you from your disease of body or mind, or help you clean up your chaotic space, or help you break out of the shackles of limiting beliefs and leap in the joy of freedom. or help you discover that sweet, tender spirit hiding within the hard shell of ego, so that you can rise to your glorious self.
Wow, let's give some love in the chat for that. There's a lot in that, Angie. Thank you. I really love the idea of the broken glass into mosaic. What a beautiful image to show up and keep us into that truth of,
Yes, that's taking the wisdom that we actually have and claiming it to help others. So
yeah,
I just thought I would share that with you today.
I love it. And when did you write it?
2 or 3 years ago.
And what was the inspiration for it? Was it in a class, or how did it come about?
I just write poetry occasionally when I'm so moved. And I was just dealing with making that transition from the 60s into the 70s, and just taking in that we have so much wisdom to give, and using our lives, our stories, to help people. So that was the inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, who here would also kind of can relate to that idea of the things we thought that made us so broken somehow show up to be a guiding light of wisdom or support for someone else? And in a way, it's the uninvited, it's the moment of an uninvited something happens in our life, and yet it becomes a piece of wisdom, as you say. And I'm about to become a grandmother, with all things being equal, and I'm remembering being pregnant. Who here has been pregnant and remembers that? Or who here has wanted to birth a something, and you just want it to be all your own and in your own way, and yet there's so many helpful opportunities from other people. My daughter's getting a doula. This was not an option when I was pregnant. Who's heard of what a doula is? A doula is someone who's with you the whole time. I'm like so secretly kind of, on one hand, I want to be present at my daughter's birth. And on the other hand, I'm sort of secretly pleased that this world that we're living in and the next generation of women have an opportunity where Crohn's have opened the door and stayed the path to say, no, there should be doulas. We should have midwives again. It shouldn't just be all interventionist, medicalized, of a very natural process. And so I think it is voices of the older woman holding that line at different times and sharing in the way through poetry, through forums like this, through events, where we see it can be done a different way, safely. It's like there's so much fear in the world. So I got a lot of hope out of your poem. And I respect the transitions. You're going ahead before us. Thank you. And being willing to talk about it, Angie, that this is a transition. There is a moment that we all have to take on,
Yes.
And where are you now in your transitioning or your placementing, or where are you sitting now with where you're at versus the 3 years ago when you wrote the poem?
I've kind of settled into mid-70s, and it's okay. My friends are in their 70s, their 80s, and I still have the heart to help people and help people realize that they have some control over their aging. And that's what my project is to help people move, help people with their mindset, help people with the food that they eat, which is the fuel, and it's much more potent fuel than the medicines that we take.
Mm.
And just getting out there and sharing that we can age well, and we can have purpose. If we have the energy from our self-care, we can have purpose in life.
This is such a beautiful message. It's so important. And I can't wait to watch you over the next 20 years as I move from here to be where you are today. You are a guiding light but Inga wrote it in the chat as well. You're an absolute mentor for us. We really, we don't have a mother. Our mother passed away, so many years ago now. And so they talk about, like, you really inspire us with it's the bon vivantness. It's the joie de vivre, I'm off to India, or I'm off to Thailand, or I'm off to Bali, or I'm off to Mexico, or I'm in Arizona, or I'm here or there, and all the while still continuing to create content that can support others, and be it a poem, be it a piece of yoga. You're an absolute light. Absolutely love you for being here, and thank you for coming, because I know you're on the fence whether or not you would. So I think everybody will agree. Read the chat. Just absolutely stole our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you.
And do put your link to your book there, because it's a beautiful, beautiful story that you can learn more about Angie, and her ability to be a forgiving soul, I think, is really a guiding light there too. Mwah! Lots of love. Thank you.
Just Sister Inga jumping in and saying thank you, Angie, for being the ripple in our world, the ripple effect, and being someone that we look up to, and we're always intrigued by what new discovery you've been on in your crone period, and the fact that you still want to teach others, your own peers, but also that we of a slightly younger generation get so much from our interactions with you. Just adore all that you do, and was just blown away by a beautiful poem. I had no idea when you were reading it that it was your own. It was just lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. Creativity as part of the soul's journey. That's part of what we're here today to talk about as well, right? To be true to your own creative soul, that you're bringing something so special and unique. Each of you have that ability to do that and to share that. Like, you could speak that poem now on Facebook, share it, and just put it up as a performance. And why not? Why not in 5 years' time, someone's heart's changed, Like, it's a really amazing technology, ladies, to be seen in your sovereignty, to stand up and be willing for others to find you, to be moved by you. That's what Seen and Sovereign is about for me in this context. That you're really allowing people to get to know you and say, there are so many ways to live in the world. There's not one way. And we're the ones creating that generational shift and change. And it can be uncomfortable, ladies. I'm not saying it's not, because it's unlikely your mothers were out there doing what we're doing today. It's likely that you're the first generation in your line to be doing this. And so you're creating new neural pathways and DNA. And so that's why we need the Mary Magdalene visitations and the wisdom. That's why we need the intergalactic stellar things. It's why we need human design. It's why we need groups and communities and meditation circles. Do you feel me? Do you see that it's not possible for us to go alone? It never was, and it's never meant to be. And while we're not down the road from each other, going to the church or meeting in the marketplace, this is the marketplaces. This is the churches. These are the spaces. These are the ways. And if you stay in contact on whatever platform it is that we can grow movements and have role model revolutions in small clusters that become big. Yeah. So excited for this. I'm so excited for wherever it is that you're joining us in your journey. Please put some love in. And you can absolutely, Louisa, get the replay. I know it's a long summit, but we'll have a break and then we'll come back. Just a 5-minute break. I'm just going to put the little story on. We have a 5-minute break just to reset everything, and we need it. Like, it's an hour and a half, 90 minutes is a long time in the chair. It's only going to be a few minutes. We'll play a song, and then we'll be back to meet the beautiful Susan Lieberman, who has an extraordinary story as well, and who's bringing East and West philosophies together, which I love. So that's who will be coming back next online. But for now, let's have a song. It's not letting me share. Why is it not letting me do that? I'm going to pause the recording.
You get to be soft, you get to be intuitive, you get to shine like a star. All the colors of the rainbow are within you. You have the right to shine, the right to be seen. All the colors of you are needed. Don't it to fit in. You have the right to shine. All the colors of the rainbow are within you. You have the right to shine, the right to be seen. All the colors of you are needed. Don't interfere in. You have the right to shine. And now is your time. Now is your time. Yes, now is your time. Now is your time.
Welcome back. Love that. Welcome back, whoever's around. We'll end that. Welcome back. As soon as Tanya's in, I'm not sure. People coming back into the room, they popped out. Just give everyone a moment. Stephanie giving a wave there. Have you had a takeaway? What? Maria Hartsong wrote that song, and it's a song that I bought from her. She has drop-ins. She was both a client and a colleague and a friend, and it's called Right to Shine. She will be releasing it on Spotify. It's not released at Spotify at the moment. And yeah, it's the theme song to Evolve, our group. Ladies, I'm just going to ask you for a moment to pop in the chat one thing that you've taken away from today while I fix my light. Can you see I've gone into shadow? I've had to sit down. And so 1 second, please. Well, good. Thank you. Oh, started playing again, Tanya. I might turn it off. But it's Maria Hartsong. Maybe someone could pop in the chat for Stephanie that it is by Maria Hartsong. A filtering system. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that was great, wasn't it? Aging is wonderful. Ren Roberts, beautiful. The world needs our wisdom. We really need to be seen and sovereign. It's true. Angie's poem and the clarity around it. Love that too. She's popped her book. You might need to put the link there, love, Angie, for that, the book. Such wisdom, passion, expertise. Oh, thank you. Maria Hartsong, beautiful. Well, bringing to the stage, if we can, bring to share with me Susan Lieberman, who is radiant as ever. And
Recording again?
Somebody's asked me a question. Are we recording? We are recording. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to ask Susan a question, but she's a coach and a mentor who is blending the Eastern and Western philosophies of health for the benefits of caregivers and in advocating for caregivers as well to live more vitally, to have vitality and freedom. And so how has it been for you to care for others with this blending of East and West philosophy? What has that been like for you, Susan? Because you're a health professional yourself, you're in the health industry forever. Is that right, as a career?
Yes, I have been in the health industry. I won't tell you how many years, but it's been over 40 years. And I have seen it all. And I have been a caregiver from a very young age when I didn't know any better and I didn't know that there was a different way. And so this time around, when I am caregiving and at this stage of my life, there's so much more. And I know that you talk about being sovereign, we can take the power back because our bodies and our minds and our souls have so much power to heal.
And so
So it's
how
very
would you describe what a caregiver is and some of the problems that they face? Because, you know, I never identified myself as a caregiver for a very long time. And even when my mum had cancer, those words, you know, years back then, they weren't really used. It was more like a duty. Like I felt a vow to do whatever it was that she wanted for her cancer, because obviously that was just what I did. But it took a lot out of my life in hindsight, in great hindsight, being the one who in the family, for me, and I don't know for others. I also see that nurses are caregivers, and that doctors are caregivers, and that police officers are caregivers, and that teachers are caregivers. And so it's mothers and daughters and sisters and aunts. And, you know, my aunt had cancer and I helped her, and my grandmother needed to move house and I helped her, and my other grandmother needed help and I helped her. And over the years, I've really thought about the impact financially that that's had on me, as well as emotionally. I became like a secret keeper for my family. They'd tell me their secrets because they were vulnerable. I don't know why. So I've got all this knowledge. And there's no real kind of guidance in my mind for that. So I know you advocate for caregivers, but what is something you want to share around how do we identify ourselves as a caregiver that might be struggling versus just a caregiver, like you said, you didn't know better? What are some of the ways that we don't know?
Well, you said a lot of it. The first is that we think society tells us that as women, we should be nurturers and we should be selfish and we should care. So we grow up with all of these beliefs that this is just normal, and we don't understand. We don't even identify ourselves as a caregiver. And then when we start to feel all of these emotions, we don't know exactly what it is. And then we're isolated because we don't want anybody to know that this is how we're feeling, and we're starting to be overwhelmed, right? And we don't know how to take care of ourselves. And we think it's, by the way, you've also identified what a caregiver is, and a caregiver is not just taking care of someone who's sick. In some way, we have all been caregivers as women, and now we can caregive for ourselves too. And
So do you think there's like an expectation that we will give care to everyone? It's a bit like with Ingrid's patriarch. It's another patriarchal structure of this is who we are. And so with the East and the West, what was that kind of bridge for you that came? Because the Eastern is often not thought of as a patriarchal, although it's extremely patriarchal as well. But how do you see philosophy coming into caregiving?
Well, there's a big way. And I am a nurse also. So for many years, and I was also in administration. So I know how the healthcare system works. At least in the United States, I know it very well. It is really not a healthcare system. It is a sick care system. And that's what we as caregivers have been taught to look at. What can we take over here? And what can we take over there? And what medication and what specialist should we go to? And it gets overwhelming for us, and the doctor's appointments and all of that. But no one's taking a look at the mental and emotional and physical. Okay. Right. And the spiritual connection, because that's all part of caregiving, and that's all part of who we are. So when we look at well-being, that's part of the well-being. We may not always get a cure, but we can look at root causes and we can heal. So while you may still have the quote Western medical condition, there's still healing that takes place. And by the way, there are so many things that we can do because the power's in our body. We've heard of E=mc². It seems to be out there again, but it's really in here. We are the energy. We are the healers. We can take that back. We're not at the effect of everybody else. And so that's how you can start to caregive in a different way and reclaim your time and your health and your joy, regardless of who you're caregiving. Because as women, we pretty much have caregiven all our lives, even if we have not identified it as that.
Yeah, I think it's really true. And so who here would like to feel more joy in their caregiving duties? Just raise your hand. Who here is actually in some way, shape or form in a caregiving role now? Not everybody is, but who is? My sister just put up 2 hands. Like it's literally like I surrender to this, right? Like literally, let's put in the chat. Like let's see where we are. Who here is babysitting? Who here's got like children that they care for, grandchildren, something like that? Who's doing grandchildren? Pop in the chat, grandchildren. Caregiver, grandchildren. Who here, Inga's got kids, husbands, dogs and cats? Who here is looking after animals, right?
Yep.
Pot animals. Who here's doing animals?
And we ignore ourselves and our priority, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
What about a parent? Who's looking after a parent right now?
I am.
Me too. Me too.
Third time.
Only 3 times a week, 3 nights a week, but it's really quite an intense kind of situation when I think about it, because a couple of times I've forgotten to remind him for his medication. So the reason why I'm having this kind of longer conversation with Susan is I can really see that everybody's here. What about a community? Who's here as a leader in a community? Who's here as a leader in a community and has to actually show up for others? Who here's looking after a husband? Who here carries more of the weight of a household for a husband than they carry for you? Pop it in the chat. Let's just see. Come on. If we're honest, who here feels like they're a Lady Godiva and they don't do much at all and they're actually being cared for? Anyone?
See that?
No. Funny that, isn't it? It's an interesting point. So we can all benefit from this acceptance and that knowing, am I actually doing anything for myself as a caregiver? So I think it's particular, this phrasing of being a caregiver support person, this that Sue's identified, this that Susan's identified. You know, it's a word that people don't really notice themselves in it, but look how many, every single one of us might not identify with a galactic angel or with a sovereign woman, but every single one of us has identified with the caregiver. Now, can we put a value on this? No, but yet we do. We must value ourselves for it. What are your kind of, how would it feel to care for others without, what have you noticed when you're caring for others without losing yourself in the process? What's one small joy that you've noticed has come through an East and West philosophy balance and through running your programs for people?
The joy in the moment, right? And not having those expectations of what it needs to look like, or that the situation needs to be different in order to have that joy. Or that we can't do anything, that we are at the effect of everything. So we don't have to be overwhelmed. We don't have to feel like we're losing ourselves. We don't have to feel angry and resentful. We can still live a full, vibrant life. And I want to stress that, vibrant and vitality life. We can still do it, and we can still enjoy our lives. And it's not.
So what do you think? Is it a practice or is it skill setting? What do we need? Like, what would you say is your top tip? And I know you're going to give us a gift, but what is it? Is it setting up a daily practice? Like what is it that you do that changed the game?
I have to tell you that it's not often what caregivers think they need, but the place that I start is let's get clear on what it is that you really want. Because until you are clear on what you want, you're at the effect of everybody else.
And so once we've
And-
got the clarity and understanding of a desire for this or for that, what is it then skill setting? Again, like I'm asking, like, is it learning new tools or ways of being, or is it a daily practice? Because you've got a lot of kind of feathers in your cap as well. You talk about, I think, Reiki, or what are the different
Yes,
east,
it
west
is a
practical
daily.
differences?
Mhm. It is a daily practice, and it is, I call it effortless effort. Okay. And it is a daily practice. So when I get up, I carve things out. I know people say I don't have time, but if my cup runs dry, if I don't have the energy, then I can't take care of anybody else. And if I'm not centered within myself, then no one else around me.
And so is that a meditation
Nice
practice
to
you do? Is it affirmations? What is
So
it?
I'll tell you what I do every morning, and not everybody has to do this because it's small steps. So I actually do qigong and tai chi in the morning. That's stretching, but and it's movement. Movement of the body is so important, but that movement comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. And because that's
More
how
on
we're
that.
always
What does that
looking
mean?
on the
Like I,
outside.
for myself, I wake up in the morning and the idea of getting from the bed to the floor, I've got to tell you, there's a huge gap, ladies. I don't know about anyone else, but there's a gap where I am like not yet doing the, ooh, jump out of bed, happy as a Larry, like, and yet once my feet are on the ground, I am happy. So is there when you say inside out, what is that?
Yeah. So, by the way, for those of us who don't have time, I can tell you we can always make time when we're a priority. Doesn't mean it has to be a half an hour or an hour. It can be 5 minutes while you're making that tea in the morning, trying to get up after you stumble to the bathroom, right? You can start to do things there. And it's not, okay, I'm just going to move, but I actually feel the chi or the energy in my body. And there are ways to cultivate that energy and chi in your body, because that's the health care. That's the healing care that
I
we
love
can
that, to
give
cultivate the
ourselves,
chi. Who else picked up on that? To cultivate
or
what's
vital
already
force
within.
energy.
Yeah. So what's the gift you're giving us at the end? What's it called?
So I have so many, but today I'm going to give you the Vitality and Energy Jumpstart.
Love
And
that.
what it is going to, where are you right now? Remember, that's what I said. Let's get clear. Where are you right now with your energy and vitality? But that's not just physical, that's mental, emotional, and also spiritual.
Yeah, that's the
And once we have that, and once you know where you're at, because many of us don't know where we're at, we've been so overwhelmed, we don't know where we're at, then we can start to build on what you want. And sometimes people don't know that. And then I give you, for now, I give you some 3 quick energy boosters that you can do to tap into that sea of energy that we have. And that doesn't take a lot. You can do that while you're in bed, while you're trying to get up, because it will help you get up, help bring that vitality up, help you do that.
I
So
love that. I love
that's
that.
what
Cultivate
we're,
your energy from within to have a
yes.
better life without, and to, I guess, find some ways to carve out the reality of being caregivers as we are
Yes.
and
So
remain.
I can, because I know the healthcare system and I know the tools you can do both with your loved one and for the healthcare system. That's all external, but there's internal stuff that you and we as women and caregivers need to do every day. That's where the sovereignty and that's where the control comes back into our lives. And that's when we can still live with purpose and our dreams. It may look a little different than we originally thought, but it's there.
Beautiful. Keep an eye out for that gift. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for melding and bringing everything. I can't wait to see. I know that this is going to evolve for you as well. And you have a Facebook group where you offer some kind of, is that right? Or where are you
Yes.
at the moment? Where can people find you?
I have a Facebook group called the Family Caregiver Community where we give each other support. And it doesn't have to be caregiving in the traditional sense, as Sal has said. So I have that. I am also on YouTube. I have lots of meditations. I have lots of self-care that you don't have to take lots of time and go to the gym to do. I have lots of movement exercises.
Is that on the
And
YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's
So
called
pop that
Great
into
Women
the, whichever
Best.
one you would like people to follow and find you on, pop that into the chat. And your gift is, what is it called again?
It's called the Vitality and Energy Jumpstart. I just wanted to give something for you as a caregiver, as a woman who's harried. I wanted something where you could start to tap into the energy that's already in you, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and cultivate that on the spot.
I love that. I love cultivating the energy from within. It's been a big aha for me. Thank you, Susan, that it's not going to come from outside, it's going to come from within, and that we got this, and that there are skills and tools for this particular part of who we are.
Thank you.
All right, darling, drop in the chat where to find you, most definitely. It's amazing how similar we all are, right? Birds of a feather flock together, they say, and that we're at that point in our lives where it's an admission and acceptance, and that again, like maybe one day there's going to be like a caregiving doula, like we're going to have opportunities to be mentored through people like Susan, where you go, you know what, I'm entering a new phase. I'm going to be able to, people, it's going to be obvious that you would say, oh, well, go and try this, right? Try and get support here. Maybe you know someone who's really struggling with being a caregiver. I just know it would have really helped me, particularly as a single person who didn't have that family to lean on myself at the time. So, no, that I didn't. Ingrid and I were very close through it all, but you know, that no person in my house in my corner, you know, you could let off steam with. I think it's really important to have these groups and communities. So please do pop your Facebook group, Susan, into the chat, and let's have a look at that. Well, I bring to the stage, if you could, Shada, who is an incredible manifestation, certified transformational life and manifestation coach, heart math practitioner, spiritual healer, who came out of the closet, what, about 18 months ago? When did you come out of the spiritual closet? And
screaming. I came out the first time. I came out of the closet into my own living room when I was in my 30s, but I was not coming out of the other closet.
You were not going to be seen and sovereign in that in a public way. No way.
Until Sal and Inga said, okay, whatever's in there, that's what we need. And I was like, what do you mean? I don't see anything. My hair was straight. My bangs were straight. I was very well put together in a very tight sort of way.
Very wound up. And yet underneath we were like, well, what do you do actually? I think that's part of being seen and sovereign. So what do you do? How would you describe you? I've said what you do, but you're now running a YouTube show. And what's your current focus as a projector?
A manifestation and meditation mentor. And manifestation is my tool for helping women to step into their power. You see, we are co-creators with the universe. Nothing is happening to us. Right now, I'm saying very often, the Aquarius age is not something that's going to happen to us. It is something we are going to co-create with the universe. I totally took that idea that we are all co-creators with the universe and that we are all divine pretty seriously. Manifestation is how I healed my life. And that will I offer.
And when you say healed your life, what part was it that required healing, or was like, say, what are you?
I come from a family of folks who struggle with depression and anxiety and all of the side effects, the type 2 diabetes, the obesity, the low self-esteem, the underachievement. And by the time I was in high school, I was in real trouble with all of that. I didn't know that not everyone thought about unsubscribing from life.
Mm.
I did. And then in my early 20s, I added chronic physical pain to the mix, and I became a great big ball of chronic pain. I injured my left hip badly warming up for a dance class. And I spent several years running around chasing the sick care model, since Susan gave us that language. And at 25, a doctor who had seen me for the first, and I will say the last time, said, I have no idea what the real problem with your hip is, but I can tell you this, when you're older, you will have osteoarthritis.
Mm.
I'm from the South, folks. We are colorful people. At that point, I was mad as a wet hen at that man. How dare he curse me in that way? And I thought, you will never lay eyes on me again. But what I did that day was step into my power. And I realized, as so many have shared, my healing was an inside job. And I did that. I manifested that. I have no osteoarthritis. If I didn't have on shorts, I'd put my leg over my head for you.
I love that. It's the self-healing journeys and the transformation that we go through. How do you see this now helping others?
I offer manifestation groups where we create a container, and that container is more powerful than we are alone. And that is why so many traditions, one of my degrees is in the study of religion, so many traditions the world round share this idea that part of the most important part of the spiritual practice is to be in community with others. The Sangha for the Buddhists. In the Christian tradition, they say where 3 or more are gathered together in his name. There's a reason for that. It's powerful. And in that container, we can up level our magics together. And you can create anything you want. I wanted health. You can have wealth.
I love that. And sorry, there's some people in the waiting room. I'm trying to get in. And there's someone called John Blake. Does anybody know who that is? Because I can get really nervous about bringing men into these spaces if I don't know their names or.
Yeah, we're on it, Sal. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
Right. He's
Um,
a lovely friend of Tanya's who was trying to get in, but we're thinking that we'll just keep this female only for now, and we'll send him a replay so that he can.
oh, beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can just get a little bit nervous.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate
Got
it.
your back.
And Shada, if you could whisper one truth in the ear of all the viewers of your YouTube channels, if you could really invite people, I know that you do the heart math and you've had like over how many views now on your heart coherence meditation?
15,000 hours. I got a big sparkly email, and I have 1,700 subscribers now, and we're going for the magic 2,000 mark, and we will open the community officially, and we will start having regular live events together. And I hope to have on.
So you might want to be part of that groundswell to 2,000. It's amazing to do that and to just continually show up and be seen. And are you still doing free meditations in the morning?
6:45 Eastern time, and they remain up in replay forever.
There you go. So you can have a quick morning meditation, get into the community, be into that Sangha. Really, whether it's electronic or technological now, honestly, I believe there's an energetics that's here for all of us to be with. And so that idea of, space-time continuum, I don't know, it's a moving thing. So what is the kind of one thing, if you could whisper in the ear of people about what you would offer people at this time in life, to be seen, to be sovereign? What is something you'd whisper in their ear?
You are powerful. You are the most powerful thing in the universe.
Beautiful. And Susan's giving you some love there. We are the most powerful things in the universe. I mean, it really is amazing, isn't it, to be a human being at this time? Really. I mean, we are able pretty much as privileged women to wear what we want, say what we want, do what we want, be where we want. It really is incredible. And often that's hard. That brings with it stress. Like, I can't remember who it was earlier that was saying, more of us are depressed than ever. really remembering our power, coming into community groups like this, supporting one another, sharing this replay with someone else to say, look, you just want an hour to not watch television, to not watch Scroll the Roll, but to really feel into the energetics of being seen and sovereign and having a life that is full of meaning, purpose and truth in the area of wealth, health and prosperity. Where can you make a little shift for yourself? Thank you for being here. You are radiant and transformative and manifested a manifestation queen. Please put the YouTube channel or wherever it is you would like people to find you as well. What's the gift you're giving us though?
There's the magical manifestation affirmations and the guided meditation version of that goes with it.
There you go. Awesome. Free downloads. And you will find, pop in the YouTube in chat where you would like people to kind of follow you now.
Please like and subscribe and share.
There you go. Like, they're the magic words. It really is. That's what we were not trained for that as well. But like the younger generation kind of know, but we're like, oh, are we being told what to do? But actually, if you don't ask people, then people don't know what to do. So thank you for reminding people, like, comment, share. You're amazing. Go manifest more magic in the world with yourself and others. So now we have the beautiful Audrey. Are you coming up, Audrey Watson? Let me see, are you up? There she is. Welcome, Audrey, in Canada, I call it.
Yes.
You're up there in the Canada.
Eh?
You're up there in the Canada. How is it there today?
Beautiful and sunny and warm.
Lovely. Audrey,
we really do not live in igloos.
I'd love to see an igloo in my life. Like I would actually love to see an igloo. Anybody else? She's a money coach, Audrey, for women with ADHD and to move really through the money shame and blocks into having more empowered finance. And I want to ask a little question here. Has anybody ever been diagnosed or thought that they might have ADHD? If that's a yes, pop it into a yes. Oh, I've missed Emily. Sorry, Emily, we'll have to come back and do you after Audrey, and we'll have some movement, which will be so fun. My apologies, Em. Okay, but Emily identifies that she's been given a little bit of a neurospicy diagnosis at some point. Have you ever had a thought that you might be a little bit ADHD when people are talking about it? A lot of people are talking now about menopause and ADHD starting to sprinkle and really be something that starts for people to get ADHD. Def got some traits, definitely neurodifferent. No, but my son was diagnosed. Oh yes, just 2 months now, right? So here we go again, this idea of like, there's no more stigma attached to it. But what is amazing about being a caregiver and accepting, or wherever it is that we are when we accept something, there is a part of it that does bring up this stuckness or other people's ideas around it. Like for me, a caregiver was a role that I didn't want to mark myself with. And you talk about, Audrey, how having ADHD brought up a bit of shame for you. Say more about that.
Yeah, I've been living in the closet for a very long time. My son was diagnosed when he was in grade, 3, 4, or 5. And that was back in like the early 90s, and it was not such a thing back then. And they were throwing every child on, all the boys were thrown onto Ritalin, and it just wasn't a talked about. And the label was like, oh, they have ADHD or, whatever. And so it wasn't until the kids, my 2 boys, left home. So it was definitely a later diagnosis for me. But when I finally decided I want to go and check it out and see if I do indeed have ADHD, they said yes. And I walked out of the office and I said, I'm not being labeled with that, and it's not happening, and forget it. And I put it under the carpet and I totally forgot about it. So there was a definite shame around it because, yeah, I didn't want the label. That's what I kept saying. I don't want the label. I don't want the label.
You can identify that, you can relate that the labels scare us, the identities, because we're really shown that in order to be acceptable, in order to be successful, in order to belong, we have to be a certain way. This has been a huge narrative created by things like this, culture through screens, through television, radio, media and everything like that, our generation was really, really outside image-based ways of looking at ourselves. The television and video and cinema in color is this generation. If you're Gen X, whereas the next one down, millennials and Gen Y, they were much more smaller screen, but our projections were larger than us. So the next generation feels this sort of smaller than or right size, sort of same size as well with computer screens. But the way we grew up is we were seen, you know, I think ADHD, you were thought you had Forrest Gump, you know, you were Forrest Gump, you know, it was that kind of, those kind of, you know, really extreme ideas of, which are storytelling, which is just archetypes and trying to create emotion for people. So when did you decide to come out of the closet and recognize also that ADHD and money blocks are somehow related? Because I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I did take coaching for ADHD quite a few years ago, probably 10 years ago, became an ADHD coach. And they, you know, I did at that time say, oh, I should, you know, teach on money. And they go, oh my God, that's the most brilliant idea ever, because there's so many struggles when you have ADHD and that are different than, you know, neurotypical. So
like
but
what's an idea that we might be able to recognize so people can identify themselves? You might be, what might we be? What's in it?
like how it would be different, you mean?
With money, yeah.
With money, yeah. Well, of course, there's the impulsivity. I need to have that now. I'm not going to go back to the store tomorrow. I'm not going to think about it and then go back. I'm going to buy it right now.
Oh my God, who can relate to that? I'm going to buy it right now. I'm not going to think about it. Who can relate? Me. Put a me in the chat if that's you. What else?
Yeah, and just I think too that there's a lot of limiting beliefs, or I call it like a fixed mindset that we have. And it's true from a lot of people, not just ADHD, but that ideas that are hardwired, that we're not good enough, that I'm not good with money, I'm never going to be good with money, and oh, I'm not good with money because I have ADHD. So there's a lot of the shame of not being good with money as well as the shame of having ADHD. I think there's like a double layer there.
Oh yeah,
I'm never going to get my act together is another one.
Yeah, that feels really, I can feel the stickiness of all of that. And also like the concentrating, for me with ADHD, I've been diagnosed for years and I'm on medication. I'm not afraid to say it. I only take medication when I need to. If I'm going to be in, for example, if I'm going to go to a big concert, there's too many people, there's too much stimulation. It's going to be my nervous system is going to go into overdrive. I can't take care of myself very well. And so one of the things that I've noticed is that if I have to do something on the daily, Audrey, that's very boring. I get very bored of that very quick. That's my ADHD thing. I'm like, what, I have to do my accounts every day. That is so boring. I don't want to do that. I have to gamify my money things. What are some of the things and strategies you bring in your programs and your coaching? Is it one-to-one? What do you think is the best way for an ADHD person to kind of work with you, and what are the steps?
Yeah, one-to-one is great because I feel that everybody is different when it comes to money. Like everybody's got different stages in life and different issues going on. And so working one-to-one is actually I think really helpful. And breaking things down into smaller bite-sized steps.
Love that.
It makes it so much easier, and really to help them to identify that what are we actually thinking about? Like what is going on up here in our brain and what are we making that mean? So I work a lot with basically the brain and our thoughts and what's happening. How does that make you feel? And then what action are you taking because of how that makes you feel? And so when we get into,
so is it goal-based or is it
not so much goal-based. I think we're not very good with the goals, but just realizing how powerful you really are and that you're not broken. The one thing I say is that you don't have to fix yourself to fix your finances.
Love
And
that. Don't have to fix
yeah,
yourself to fix your finances.
yeah. I think
Wow,
my
powerful.
people identify with that a lot.
Yeah, I can see why, because it does ring. It rings like, I want that. I don't want another thing I've got to deal with on top of ADHD. So it feels
Yeah.
like that would bring like a financial freedom if the brain isn't a barrier, but also just another asset, right?
Yeah. And I think just say, I see, like, I see you, I hear you, and I understand you. And
I
we can
love
work
the
together.
practical for as an ADHD person. Like, one of the ways that I do my numbers and do things is I have 1,000 ringtone messages, alarms. I have to have a lot of alarms because it's you know, so teaching strategies like that or getting strategies like that have really helped me in many ways in my life, and certainly to show up on time. Time is a real problem for me. And so, you know, I know that if you're struggling with money and you've got ADHD, what's the gift you're going to offer us, Audrey, today?
I'll tell you about the gift, but the one thing that I love to, or I tell people a lot about, is having a money date.
What's that?
So having a money date. Oh, you like light a candle, you have like once a week. It's a little ritual that you light a candle, you get a glass of wine or whatever you want to do, and you sit down, and that's when you do your money stuff. And you make it like fun.
Oh, I love that. That does change it. Who is like, yeah, I've never looked at it like that's going to be a fun moment. I
Oh,
like
it is.
that.
You make
That's a
it
real
into a
shift.
fun thing.
I also love that Ingrid said she needs actually to think she's got to be like convinced 3 times to buy. So maybe not ADHD for you, Ingrid.
No, maybe not. So my gift is 6 actionable steps to help you make and keep more money. And
6 actionable steps to help you make and keep more money. Yeah, please.
Yeah. And they're very simple, easy steps, because a lot of people think that money cannot be fun, that it's this huge anxiety and horrible thing. But you know what? You and money are in a relationship, just like you are in relationships with other people. And so that's what we really look at, is what is your relationship like with your money? And
what do you want out
fun.
of this relationship, I guess?
Yeah. Love your money. So I have a group, love yourself, love your money, because that's what it's all about.
Pop that in the group chat. And if you're interested in loving yourself and loving your money, then this is for you. And you can also get the gift, which is coming at the end with all the other gifts. Thank you, Audrey, for stepping out of that ADHD closet and being willing to help many of us. So many identified. Go back and look in the chat. You can see it's really incredible just how many of us are suffering alone, I think, in many different ways and areas of our life, which is why it's called Seen and Sovereign, to step out and allow it to just get out of the closet, ladies, and own what and who and how we are, and that there's always room to change. And there are so many beautiful guides here to help you if you feel, yeah, I really want that area of my life shifted. Thank you, Audrey. ADHD and money, it's a big one. Can't wait to see you evolve this. Awesome. Now we're going to have some movement from the beautiful Emily. Emily, I think, is our youngest speaker, either Emily and Ren. I think it's a race to youth there. She has been healing and exploring a holistic path to healing chronic pain with yoga and therapy, nutrition, and really some sort of deep emotional empowerment. She loves being a coach who guides neurospicy women to overcome pain naturally, and also to live with, have a healthier relationship with your body, to really love it. What is your catchphrase, Emily? Welcome, great to see you, looking gorgeous as ever.
My catchphrase tends to pop out differently depending on who I'm talking to, but one that I really loved hearing someone else call me was that they were calling me the neurospicy coach for the rest of us, or the neurospicy yoga therapist for the rest of us.
And what do you mean? What do you say when you do what, like, so what does that mean? That it's like not high energy, it's not all lycra and leg tights and boob tops and all the things? Or what do you say? How do you say it's different?
Exactly. So the first way is just that it's slower. It's yoga where the point is not about the shape and the pose, but the point is about how it feels in your body and how it helps you reconnect with your body.
Okay, beautiful.
And so that means we're always taking time to really feel what the effects are and also listening to adjust. Like how Susan was talking about with her Tai Chi practice, it was about how feeling where her body takes her. The point of these movements are to rebuild your cognitive relationship with your body so that there's an open communication channel and the messages that your body are telling you don't have to be as loud. And also the messages that you communicate to your body are more effective.
I love this. It's kind of like again, it's a relationship building, body to mind to beingness. And we can all do with this. So you're going to do a little something for us. Are we going to get to try this out?
Yes.
All right,
And
everybody. So
it just came to me too when you were saying relationship, body and mind, that it's about sovereignty over your body and your sensory experiences.
Okay. Let's give that a shot. Shall we all have a taste test of this with the beautiful Emily? What do you got? Take us through a little.
So what I have for you, the first question is, do people want to stand up, or is it late enough that we would rather like lean back and relax? Because we're going to get some benefits.
Okay, pop in the chat. You want to
seeing-
stand up or you want to relax? We're from all over the world. So like if you're in
That's
Australia, we're
true.
probably like, yeah, we're ready to stand up. We're just about to start the day. It's a bit hard.
I'm
on
seeing
the
lots
camera.
of stand up.
that.
Okay. And so here's the brilliant thing for the people who said that they want to lean back, please do. So as you lean back instead, what I'm going to ask of you is to check in, see if you want to try the movement, or if you want to, I will describe it as almost playing a make-believe or daydreaming that you're doing the movement. And so you're thinking through it and might even catch yourself starting the movement, but doesn't need to be big, and you'll still get the benefits. Just like how Olympic athletes will mentally run through their feats. And that has been shown again and again to be just as effective or even more effective than physically doing them mindlessly.
Okay,
So
beautiful.
if
So
it's
where do we
time to lean
start?
back, lean on back. If it's time to stand up, we'll stand up. And gently, either way, as you're standing up, if it would feel good to even shake it out or do a little swing. If you're seated and leaning back, feeling a lengthening in your spine. And after you shook it out a little bit and you're standing, if it feels all right, please close your eyes. And the first thing that I invite everyone to do is to notice the points of contact where you're receiving support. If you're standing, that's at the bottoms of your feet. If you're seated and leaning back, it's probably beneath your seat, maybe the backs of your thighs or even along your back. Feeling that support from the earth through the foundations coming up. And then I'm going to ask you to turn your attention to your breath. And let your breath start to bring a wave into your spine. Letting the inhale gently lift your chest, maybe even lifting your chin. And with the exhale, let your chest gently relax and lower. Inhaling again, lifting your chest. And letting the exhale facilitate gently lowering the chest. We'll do that one more time. Seeing if that inhale can be a little bit deeper. And allowing for that complete exhale. Before we bring the arms in. And so if it feels all right with your inhale, lift your arms, turning them palms up. With the exhale, please cross your arms, cross your body, maybe even going all the way to a hug. Next inhale, As we bring the arms back out to our side, start to bring them back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale again, cross your arms, hug your body. And we can bring this into that inhale with the spine, lifting the chest, palms up, thumbs reaching back, exhaling, gently rounding the spine. We cross and hug. Doing that again, let the inhale initiate that lift and opening, and the exhaling, bringing us into that cross and hug. Let's inhale the arms wide and then up as far as they feel comfortable. We're gonna exhale, fold forward. You can do this seated in the chair as well. We'll take one breath in this stretch in our back and our hips and our legs. And then on your next inhale, you can even use your hands to press into your thighs, coming halfway up. Feeling the muscles in your back gently engage. Exhale, slowly lower your chest, your shoulders, your head. And on this next round, when we inhale halfway up, feel the muscles in your back hug around any point that's been particularly stiff or sore today. And as you exhale, feel the muscles melt away from that point as you round your back. And let's do that again. Inhaling, if it's in your lower back, maybe you stick your butt out a little to help get that hug from the bottom. Exhaling, rounding that back into that stretch. And we'll stay in this forward fold stretch, whether we're seated or standing, for 2 breaths. And then on this last one, really let your exhale be long and complete. And then when you're ready, on your next inhale, it's your choice if you use your arms on the thighs or if you sweep them out and up, standing up tall one last time. And we'll bring our hands, palms together in front of the heart. Maybe turning your hands to rest on your heart for a moment. Bringing your attention to your heart and your breath. Feeling the heartbeat. Noticing the rhythm of your breath and the melody of the two together. And we'll take one more deep breath in, filling yourself up with as much of that fresh, nourishing energy, and that complete breath out, making room for what comes next. Opening your eyes and coming to seated.
Thank you. Amazing. Who feels good after that? Emily, I love that. Sorry, I'm just looking for one. I've got a little bit of a runny nose. Sorry, excuse me, ladies.
No worries with that. With that little
Emily, that
flow
was
too.
great.
Yeah. I weaved in a couple of things in particular that are really significant when I'm working with people with chronic pain, and that's that lengthening and expanding the breath. As our breath is our like magic ticket expressway into working with our nervous system, which it's just becoming more and more clear that once pain is, well, any pain at all is part of the nervous system experience.
I
But
love
once
that. You should
pain
see the chat.
has
The chat people are loving you, Emily. They're like, feel good, love it, hugs, enjoyed it. Breath is
Yay,
magic.
thank you. My chat was not an auto scroll, so I wasn't seeing any of it.
It was just
Thank
everyone loved
you.
it and had such a nice time to just move in that beautiful, gentle way. Isn't she delightful? Emily, what gift have you got for us? You've got a buy into something as well that you can come along, and you've got a beta group going where people can experience this more than like in a program, right? So they'll
Yes. Yes. So the free gift that you get as part of the program here, it's a nice little one sheet that I describe it as the Befriend Your Body process. And it's a series of circles, and it's like it's the pathway from the lower left when you're kind of stuck in your pain, wrapping around to the steps that are the most potent, so biggest kind of bang for your energy buck to get to that place where you're moving with less pain, greater comfort and ease, and hopefully at some point getting to no pain at all.
What I'd love is just like for Emily to drop into my inbox once a week, like once a day, at like 2 o'clock or something, and go, here you go. Just stop and do that. Wouldn't that be beneficial for all of us to just find some way to move in these beautiful, gentle ways? But are you on, where are you doing these little things that we can find you? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Where are you currently?
So it is Facebook and Instagram, and I will be starting a YouTube channel. So for right now with Instagram,
Pop
I
that
can
in the
put that
chat?
in the link.
Yeah.
I'll put these in the links in the chat, exactly. And I'll also put a link to my link tree where there is an invitation to a 30-minute kind of befriend your body roadmap session so that you can get a little more tailored support and learn where would you best start in this process and what it could look like on your journey to pain freedom.
Beautiful. Well, you'll find that in your Instagram as well, because there'll be a link tree on Instagram. So just leave it to your Instagram and Facebook for now, and people will find you there. Thank you so much for doing that. Isn't it nice to have a bit of body movement and take care of ourselves in these ways? So we are sitting for almost 3 hours. So thank you for that, love. Really helps.
If I'm allowed to say, I have also been called some people's self-care gurus. Their words, not mine, and they have described my yoga as yoga.
I definitely have the yoga with you. That was really beautiful. I loved it. Thank you so much. And
thank you,
go and
Sal.
look at the chat, because everybody was like, oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. It's amazing how much we do love to move, right? And yet it's like we're like anorexic to ourselves with all this stuff that's good for us. It's almost like you have to say yes to the summit. So you have to sign up. Otherwise we just don't. You know, it's one of the reasons why community, it's one of the reasons why Evolve keeps women getting visible, because every 2 weeks we show up, there's a consistency there. And that so makes our lives easier when we do it together, you know? We all did it together, no problem. But are you going to put your shoes on and go to the gym? No. This is another one of the amazing parts of being able to have this technology. Thanks again, Emily Kaspari. Ren Roberts, you are up next. Ren has helped me put this summit together and everything I've done this year. She's been an incredible mentor, coach for building passive income and putting the tech systems in place for more financial freedom and joy. And I think for me, it really is about peace of mind and not getting into overwhelm. REMS particularly loves helping entrepreneurs, especially women, to confidently utilize technology and to just stay out of the overwhelm. Really, what's one piece of advice that you would say to everybody today, Ren, with getting into tech overwhelm or not facing and being an ostrich and not willing to show up and be seen in our tech phobias, our tech challenges, that we are older women who are a bit embarrassed, maybe a little bit of shame? What have you found are some of the things that we hide out from in tech?
Well, the goal with that is to find more joy in the tech and see the possibilities of what it can do for you. And looking at where you can use it and feel empowered and feel confident. And I know, like, for you, it was getting things organized. And like, there's the thing, and I can click there. And one of the very first things was, are your logins and passwords somewhere that is efficient for you? And everyone has their different styles. And I'm not selling a technology, I'm selling, like, this is how your business can function online and be able to make money. The goal is with or without you. And that's where we get some passive income sprinkled in there. So you can do what you love, make money at it, and be able to earn some money while you're sleeping and playing and lifing as well.
I love that. And what brought you to this? What brought you to this realization?
Well, it's been quite a journey of different sorts. And so looking at the first aspect of that is I went to a business seminar when I was 15. And before that, I wanted to be a dolphin trainer. And I loved animals. And I was like, okay, that's it. And then they said the key to having this wealth, as we talk about wealth here in our summit, is about having this financial freedom and this ability to go where we want to go, when we want to go there, with whom we'd like to go there with, and be able to do what we want and stay how we want. So it was like they painted this picture, and I was like, oh, I want this. And so it shifted to, instead of just being the dolphin trainer, okay, how do I own the dolphin? So I ended up having a petting zoo. And so I owned every kid-friendly type of animals in the state of California, over 500 animals, 2 zookeepers. And I didn't make passive income, was where that was like the learning experience in that business. So I built a business very quickly that made money. It worked online, and I'd given myself a paycheck. And I was very proud of that paycheck. And I had built stability and a family and all of the picture. I had a 2-acre house in Los Angeles, like really, like I had all the stuff, and I didn't have the joy. And that was where this whole scene in Sovereign and tying in, like this ability to have whatever we want. Like I manifested that. I was really good, and I didn't get the feeling that I was looking for. And I thought that just money would solve that. And so that was my own journey of like getting very clear and creating different. Where do I express my passions and my abilities? Now I have a party business. So I've been to thousands of kids' birthday parties. Well, now instead I work with corporate clients, and I'm the matchmaker, or more specifically, my VA since 2019 has been doing all of that for me.
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
so these little things of where we can take our knowledge and expertise, and it lives on even beyond us. And I did that with my grandma.
I think
we
this is also true what we were saying about sin and sovereign. Sorry to jump in, but that like, with the Star Wars analogy, it's like you can create and talk about what you're good at and offer people everything, that everyone here has shared wisdom and knowledge, and you're giving away gifts. But as a electronic or a digital product today, there's an ability for that to live on, and whether it's through YouTube, but to also monetize that, you need to be organized in the tech at the back end. I'm 5 years in business, and I'm just doing it this year because that's, for me as a perfectionist, I didn't feel my products were ready to be sent out, but I see people doing far worse than me, and I don't advocate to be a perfectionist in that realm. And so Ren's really helped me to get it to a place where this year I can, and just in the nick of time, because I'm going to be a grandma, so I'm going to need that passive income. So where I used to show up live every day, once a month for 5 days, to do a challenge and then bring people into a discovery call. Well, that's all going to be done electronically on a funnel, because Ren, managing a VA for me, has managed to pull that together. So I'm super grateful. And how do you feel about being seen and being visible these days?
Well, I feel I love my background. That was one of the things that attracted me to Evolve. And you and Inga have completely transformed, because I love being in my chicken coop. And I love to be me. So you get all my live videos of where I'm me, and I'm off camera though, so I'll make sure and I know to tilt the just this way and to use my hooks, and so I can convert it. And then I can show up really nice. We have that timed on video, like 3 minutes, and I can go from chicken coop to this. Testament to your amazing powers. So thank you both, Sal and Inga.
But it's also using the technology in a way that's going to help other people. People often think it's about us. We make things about us, but actually, ladies, in this world of being seen online and creating businesses and using the technology and staying current and relevant, and also being available to be found, it's actually kindnesses for others. Like if we were to put a link every time someone spoke here with a gift, there's an overwhelm that would come and the chat, and people would get lost. But instead, Ren and I came up with this idea. We'll have one page, everyone's links on it. It's there as a keepsake. Health, wealth, prosperity. I like those women. You're struggling. You can always just go back to it. And then there's one of those that you like, or you could say, hang on a minute, a friend wanted it. And it's that kind of streamlining that Ren is really good with, because it takes a lot of pieces to get the tech in. But when you've got someone holding your hand, it can really feel not as overwhelming. And she really handles, I'm such a stress bucket, I can't even tell you. Off screen, like my happy place is on camera like this, no problem. Off screen, tech and me, we is not friends. We is not friends. Me and tech, we is not friends. I love me some tech, and I've been in it for the game for like same other people 3-4 decades, but I've always had assistance. And in this world where we've got to do it ourselves, do it yourself, and you do need to be able to do it. She's taught me how to do that in a way that's much more. So she handles whatever your mood is, ladies. She doesn't judge you. She stays calm. She's really positive. She's always on time. She gets you good prices. I really recommend. What's your gifty goo you've got for us?
Oh my goodness. Well, it is the best and most powerful hacks for more financial freedom and joy. So we
There you
want
go.
money with that ease and flow. So that is the goal of putting that together. And so that focus in here, the big thing, the number one thing is about taming that tech monster. So what are the secrets to helping to tame that? And also what I love is there's ways that don't have to cost you money, and ways that you can do things free or very efficiently. And so looking at ways to really help you, like in your business, where can you make that more simple? And that's a great place to start. And there's some other good secrets in there, and a gift basket, and all sorts of goodies that you'll get with that gift.
Beautiful. And you've got a group as well, so feel free to drop that into the Facebook chat if you want to join in and get your tech, get rid of that tech monster, which I think is so perfect. So perfect. Lots of love for you there in the chat. And you'll see Ren's beautiful work by even just getting the gift, and by seeing the way that the registration page was here. She's helped me put together all of that with our team. So I'm super grateful. Her overseeing is really gave me a lot of joy this year, much more than I've ever had. And Inga would probably attest to that too, that I'm nowhere near as stressed. And I really want to serve my women and my company and my people that you show up, that everyone, it's been better this year than ever before, and it'll continue to improve. And it'll help me also understand that I want to do a membership, that I want to do an inner circle, and I want to do a content club, that this is the way I want to do. And the pieces of the puzzle that I sell, those passive income pieces, are going to be differently done. So yeah. Thank you. And please pop in the chat your Facebook. I'm just checking the chat. 5 powerful business hacks for more financial freedom and joy. And we have 3 more presenters to go. We also are going to be sending you out a video of Madame Juju. She would have shown up on the thing, and she's an incredible embodiment coach, where she works with women to really step into loving your body. She's done a 9 to 5, a little pole dance in her own home studio to working 9 to 5. And we spent time trying to be able to project this on the screen for you, and we just could not make it work. It didn't work, and so I'm going to send it out as an email instead. What I want to say about Juju is, and maybe we could just share the slide of Juju if she's there. It's the last slide, I think, Tanya, just so people can have her face with me while I'm up, because she's not able to be with us and get on the poll today. When Inga, it's a little story. Inga and I were doing vision boarding about 4 years ago, and Inga put up being a pole dancer on hers, like getting a pole put in the garage. And I was horrified. I'm sort of a Bridget Jones, big underpant wearing prude and prissy at heart, right? I'm not really like out there. I've got my own sexy swagger when I need to, but for the most part, I'm pretty like, I wear a Spencer, and I wear, I'm quite a dag, I'm quite a prude. So getting on a pole really gave me an edge. Like, it really upset me. And I had to look at my own judgment about that. Like, why would I have judgment? It's fit. It's women loving their body. It's dancing, it's movement, it's sensual, it's all the things. And then we met Juju, and I just got any ideas and preconceived notions blown out of the water. She absolutely owns her sensuality and her age and stage, and has moved through trauma embodying herself on a pole, which you can do too. So it's movement, body, dance, song, mindset, everything. I really encourage you to watch and really open into the bravery and courage. And she came with us, and I said, get on the pole and put it onto the internet. And can you imagine how many haters would come up with an older woman putting herself out there on pole and doing a dance. So of course, those disgusting trolls reached out and I said, you know what, you go and do it anyway, but this community will be here for you. We will be here with you. We embrace you. We embrace your courage. We know it's beneficial for women like my sister Inga, who does want to do it, to see that it is possible and can be done. And so she did, and she got a lot of kickback. And you might too. So we'll stop sharing that slide. Tanya, Sharda came out of the closet. Susan's coming out of the closet of East-West philosophy. Where we are this group is for that, where you're holding back a part of yourself that really is who you. And people have spoken about clarity and everything, and it's all the things you can understand it, but then to put yourself on camera where you are going to be seen by people you don't know, and they are going to have an opinion. How do you deal with that? Well, that's definitely part of the Evolve genius, I think, of coming from it from an internal, authentic place and knowing that you have the right to shine as you are. And she just water for ducks back. She said, oh yeah, lots of haters. She came in, she was worried about it. She called out her fear. We gave her some coaching and training. The community loved her. We supported her, and it didn't matter. And so she doesn't care now what the haters say. Really seen and sovereign in her power. So please do watch that video, see where you get edgy around it, because it's edgy. But I love the song 9 to 5, and it was a routine she got choreographed for her, and she's giving it to us. So look out for that in the emails coming. And we'll move on to the beautiful Adria. And oh, wow, a powerhouse, a life coach, a workshop leader, mentors one-to-one, turning pain into resilience. And I love this catchphrase for you, silence into presence. Silence into presence. Powerful lady. Audrey also helps us co-lead the performance section when we do performance in Evolve Your Visibility, because she is an amazing, ran away from the circus, opera performer, so many fucking feathers in your cap. Excuse my French, I get so excited to see you here. Welcome.
I'm delighted to be here, Sal. I cannot tell you, all of you, how much it makes me want to cry, how much you've touched my heart and my soul to hear your expression, the clarity, the beauty, and Sal, the space that you have held for this. I'm in awe. I'm just overwhelmed and thrilled from what I'm hearing and what I'm experiencing right now.
It is very exciting, isn't it, to be in a group of women who are standing up and claiming, really saying, this is what I do, and it's valid to want help and support in these areas.
Yes.
And to value it. So thank you for seeing that and for being here. Tell us a bit about your magic. I mean, you've had an incredible career, but what is it that turned you as well to say, well, hang on, this is what I want to do for me now? And how do you help others in that?
Well, let me try and condense it into a Reader's Digest article.
Can you condense that into a social media post for me, please?
Yeah, that's right. It's got to be really small here. But from the time I was 10 years old, I stepped on stage, and I didn't know that I was running away to the circus. I didn't know that I was in an abusive situation. I had no idea. I didn't know any better. And that world was so much more beautiful. And it allowed me to scream in pain. And as long as I screamed on pitch and I followed the conductor, then I was safe, and I eventually got paid for it. And so I didn't walk off stage until I was 50, but I was in Seville. No, I was in Cordoba, and I was doing a Carmen, and I heard a voice out of nowhere, and there was no one around me because Carmen doesn't walk on until 20 minutes into the opera. I had my foot up on a ladder. I was doing my yoga, and I heard, "This is the last Carmen you will ever do." And I went, oh my goodness, wait a minute. The last Carmen, oh, this has been my life. What are you talking about? And everything in my body knew that I was hearing the truth. And I said, am I going to go out there and sob the whole performance? And I went, no, you're a pro. Take both hands, get over yourself, go out there and do your job. And I did. 2 years later, I had wrapped up all of the contracts. I didn't sign anymore. and I walked off stage, and I fell into this burnout and saying to myself, who on earth are you and what are you doing here? And I started a business for my husband, not for myself. I started one for him. Of course, the one I was the one who ran it, and realized I became a teacher. I went to school and became a coach. I've been teaching at a university. I started teaching everything that I learned. But I also realized as I was going through this examination of where have you been and what have you been hiding from, to pull all the muck out of the mud, the stinking mud, and say, I look at you now. I see you. And you upset me and you make me so frightened. And I faced it, and I faced it again and again and again for about 20 years. And then realized, wait a minute. This man that I'm married to, who I thought was an alcoholic, he wasn't an alcoholic. That was his medicine. He was mentally ill. And my entire life, one more time, collapsed completely. I even had to let go of my business. He was arrested. He was jailed. I was fighting. You cannot put someone who's mentally ill in jail. You can't do that. But when I finally admitted, and Susan, I cannot tell you how you touched me. When I finally admitted to the nurses in the psych ward, I don't feel safe anymore. And instead of keeping them there for 6 days, they kept him there for 6 weeks until they found a place for him. And I began my own journey to freedom. And I stopped being a caregiver, and I put these beautiful arms around myself. And I said, for the first time in your life, you're going to stop taking care of everyone. And what I learned is that we all shine. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be included. We want to be empowered. And all of us have that inside of us. And I am teaching that with all my heart right now, whether it's to a kindergarten student or whether it's to my university students or to my clients. Yes, it's presence, but the presence is all from inside out. You have the courage to face your fears and to understand how truly miraculous we are and how divinely connected we are and how powerful we are. And to have an opportunity like this, Sal, to listen to what I've been listening to, my cells are changed. I'm not the same as I was 2.5 hours ago.
Beautiful.
I'm thrilled to death. Yes, of course, I have a million modalities to teach, but you know, all of it comes down to big love. Because all that I went through, I learned big love. I learned what unconditional love is now. I lived it. So now I'm in a very
love that. I really love that, your story, and you're such a beautiful storyteller, and to help other people to shine in their own storytelling and to own the very messy bits, the very messy bits that we often think. I just like the bravery and the courage and the vulnerability to say this is life on life's terms, and all of us have got something in the closet that we're not proud of.
Yes, all of us go through.
Look at the nodding, everybody. And so get it
do.
out.
Everybody.
We don't need to pretend anymore. I'm sure this
No.
is a community of safety. And, you know, we call our program Evolve Your Visibility, and Audrey helps people to get some presence. And there are tips and strategies, but you have to be willing to own what is not beautiful.
Yes.
Outside world.
To dance with your own shadow.
To dance with your own
shadow. Embrace that and say, I see you, and bless you, because the refining fire that I have been through, I would not be who I am if I didn't go from the beginning of my life. Everything that I've gone through, I would not be who I am.
Indeed.
If I didn't undergo it.
And what is the gift you've got for everyone today?
The gift.
Is there a gift coming on you? I'm pretty sure you're giving a gift as well, aren't you, on the page?
I am. It's the Instant Charisma Checklist.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it warms you up. It warms up the body. It warms up the voice. It helps you connect to something beautiful in your life. And it helps you walk on stage and command attention in less than 90 seconds.
Well,
And
I
it
love that. And we're going to
really
have to, I'm going to have to wrap it up there because we've only got 5 minutes. And please, ladies,
Yes.
I'm so sorry, we might go over by 5 minutes. That's my bad. But thank you. And do look out for that gift in there, for that beautiful, courageous, vulnerable share. Thank you for your energy and love. Bringing to the stage Tanya, who has been silently bringing others to the stage. She's an incredible advocate for and lover of the environment. She partners with purpose-driven women in leadership to spark transformational sustainability and use sustainable development goals. So this is all in the parts of the environment so that you can have fun and also really begin to take bold action, build resilience, and change not only the planet, but yourself. Tell us a little bit about your game. What is it called and how do we get to play it?
Great. Because gamification is huge, isn't it? And it's a way of engaging attention. It's a way of being playful.
What is your game called?
Hey?
What is the game called?
I'm qualified as a 2030 SDGs facilitator, but with a friend, I've incorporated this into the collaboration game, and it's blending the sustainable development goals with the inner development goals. Now, why? Currently, we're having challenges meeting the sustainable development goals. Many people don't even know what the heck they are. So a movement has formed. It is based on the commons. The commons is an idea that it is accessible to everybody. And the commons of this movement is called the Inner Development Goals. And it is where we have to go inward, as so many of us have spoken about today. It's an inside job in order to achieve these outer sustainable development goals, the things that 193 nations in the world agreed to as a to-do list, things to get done by 2030. So the game I play is a physical game. I will be playing it in Sydney, speaking with a client this afternoon about delivering in Melbourne. It's appropriate for organisations that are looking to get the mindset for their team to get them engaged in their sustainability reporting, which is looming. It's appropriate for organisations. It's appropriate for communities. It's appropriate for kids. It's appropriate for big kids.
Beautiful.
And it's a real life simulation of the world that we can create by understanding that everything we do socially, ecologically, economically, that's a big factor, has an impact on the others. And so if we take action thinking, no, it's not for the Australian goals, Sharada, it's for the global goals. And it's vital that we have more of an understanding and that it should be something that we go, okay, so that's the global goals. Well, how do I apply that locally, right here, right now, where I am? Go on.
Thank you, darling. I love that. And I'm aware that people don't know, and I'm aware of time as well. So I do want to move on quickly. And I'm going to ask people, this is a little bit different. I'm going to ask you to support Tanya by going to her LinkedIn and starting to get some awareness around it. Starting to get some awareness about what are these sustainable development goals? How come I don't know about it? It's 2030, 6 years away, 190 nations signed to do it, 5 years away, sorry. And it's a really big movement around the world asking us to heal the planet. And whatever your belief systems are, there are dirty rivers, ladies. You know, there are fossil fuel problems with cars. We are privileged. We have an ability to change. I bought a hybrid car this year. I made a choice. Wherever we can, let's do it. So please, Tanya, put your LinkedIn into the chat and get people starting to understand and know more and look look out for her gift as well. As I bring Prema on to close out the stage, my beautiful Prema hanging in there all the way from Adelaide down the low. Let's bring her to the stage and share. She's one that's really conscious of time. She had us all come in on time. She keeps me to time all the time. So I'm really aware that I'm now late for her, and I'm so sorry. And isn't it always the way that that's what happens? But I knew you'd be able to bring it all together for us. This Seen and Sovereign Summit has been such a pleasure. And your work is phenomenal. You are a presenter, an author, a speaker, a journey practitioner, a coach, a reader, so many gifts, a manifesting generator that can bring her hand to anything. You build communities when you run events. I've had the pleasure of being in events with you and co-leading as well. And it's just amazing how much depth you have and faith that we can heal anything. I love that about you, Prema. Welcome to the Seen and Sovereign Summit. How's it been for you to be?
Oh, look, it's been amazing, isn't it? Amazing. What do you do with all these women? I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, many years I was in a group called Unite the Light, and we had this song that we sang, which was called Rise Up. And in between it, the woman who was the singer, she was amazing. And she talked about women of the world rising up. And we were the actual chorus was just rise up, and we were all these women and we just sang rise up with all our hearts. And she was like, to every woman and every child, let there be clean water, let there be this, let there be that. It was so beautiful. I will try and remember, and I'll share it on the Evolve page, because I've just been reminded here of the power of women when we come together, when we come together and express ourselves in this way, this holding hands with each other, this power that is here. And women, we are all rising up in different ways, and us being here together is a way that we can hold on with each other, we can hold hands with each other, we can embrace each other, we can really shine individually, but together. It's wonderful, Sal. And I mean, you are such a wonderful, you do such a wonderful job of creating this, of holding this space for everybody.
Back to you.
So,
Thank you.
well,
Love, because one of the things that hasn't been talked about here is anger. And so
yes.
I kind of wanted to invite everybody to know a little bit about Prema's story. Is she's a thriver from DV and was a single mum, and she did some posting around anger and how we avoid it, how we shame, blame anger. And yet, Prema, what would you say anger is?
Well, anger is just another emotion, and you can deny it. You can say, I don't feel anger, but I know, I'm sure that you do. The years that I have been an emotional healing expert, if you shut it down, it's going to go in your body and it will cause problems in your body. Anger is just another emotion like any of the other emotions. And when we shut one emotion down, we shut all the emotions down. So when you shut down rage or anger, then you stop yourself from feeling joy and exuberance and exaltation. You shut that wide essence, that wide frame of emotions, and you can live in a space of, yeah, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm calm. I love calmness, I'm calm. I like looking after people, and you don't actually get to feel that exuberance, that joy, that passion, because you're scared of your rage or your devastation, your anger. And when you allow yourself to feel your emotions in your body, and a lot of people can be scared of anger because they've been brought up in homes where anger was used, where it was okay, and they may have used it themselves on other people. So, you know, for me, domestic violence for 18 years, yes, I was abused emotionally, physically, punched in the face, held by the throat, dragged by the hair, the whole gamut of this rage and anger. But it wasn't until I started to do the healing, it wasn't until I looked at and was really able to feel my own emotions, to actually, like what Adria was saying, it's like facing that shadow, but being able to really allow any emotion, no matter what it might be, because we have this fear, because most of us as children, especially in this age group, have never been taught to feel our emotions safely. We haven't been taught that it's okay to cry, or that it's, to get angry, but not to project it onto someone else, not to blame. It's to own your anger and what you're angry about. They talk about people who are, when you're driving the car and you get angry at someone, and it's called road rage. But the thing is, if that road rage that you feel at the other car, that anger, that rage, it's already in you. It's yours. They didn't put it there. So whoever you're blaming, whoever you're focusing your energy on and saying they made me feel that way, they didn't.
So what is
Because
the
that emotion is
transmutation?
there.
I get that. And I feel like it's a really valid point, that owning our emotions, and it can be scary for everybody. And the reason why I kind of chose to wrap it up with this is women being seen and sovereign and feeling into the power within us, and the intensity of exposure to whatever it is that's here, be it shame, anger, sadness, depression, overwhelm, so many
Yeah.
different ways we're experiencing life and masking up rather than being seen and saying who we are. The good news from everybody here today, I hope you'll all agree, is there are ways through. There are ways beyond. And you having come through this expression of life to be a guiding light and say to people, you don't need to be your DV, you don't need to be your trauma. That you say, I think I heard you say, what is it you say about anger, that it can be
Powerful.
transformed into?
It can really be your life. It's the life force, the energy. You know how you have people who sometimes walk around and they just feel dead inside? They don't have the energy. They're not connected to their life force. And we can use different ways to feel better. But when we actually allow our anger, when we allow that to feel it in our body, it really connects us to our chi, to our energy, to the life force that flows within us. It's our energy. And it's like so many of you have said, and somebody said about, building the energy from the inside. So that really means allowing whatever feelings to be here, to be here. Our feelings, our emotions are a normal, natural thing in our body. They go, when we allow them, when we can feel them, when we can identify them and feel them and love them to death, we can love our anger, we can love our rage. When we allow this, they just flow through. They just dissolve. They
They
take
get sticky. We don't have to
any.
express them. I really love this. And so when I'm stuck, I go to Prema to heal and reveal. When I am stuck, at my most stuck, Prema is my go-to emotional healing place of safety, and I want to drop in, and you know what? I don't want 10 hours of therapy. I'm not interested. Who here can't be bothered? I'm just all love to everybody. But when I'm in a state and I'm noticing something emotionally is getting in my way, then the journey method, I believe, is the strongest. Suhuki is also one of my go-tos. But for anger, for me, when I'm at my most enraged, because I can feel it also as a survivor, and many of us have survived many things. Caregiving, I have a lot of anger came up about being that secret keeper for my family. Where did it really get me? you know?
Mm.
And so the invitation here is you've got a gift giving as well. What are we giving? What are you giving, Prem?
Well, I'm actually just giving the resilience workbook.
Right. A
Uh,
champion of that, would you not agree? You know, she just explained what she's been through over the years, and not for decades has that been, not for, you know, a while has that been her life story. She's gone on to work in Africa, write 2 books. I mean, ladies, like, facing it was the change, healing it, feeling it, being with it, moving into a new direction. Wherever it is in your life, if there's some part of you that goes, I'm just not moving forward, you know, I really invite you to have a look. And resilience is, notice how resilient you already are. It's a really good book for that too. So, and you'll be able to then connect. Prema, do you have Facebook? I love Prema.
Yes, I'm on Facebook, and you can find me on the emotional coaching on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, so you can look me up on TikTok if you watch
I reckon
TikTok.
put your TikTok thing on. I love that.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, but I'm not really great with Instagram.
I think
yeah.
TikTok's your platform. I don't know why. I think you're going to get really good. I just keep feeling TikTok is, she just tells it like it is, right? Prema tells it like it is. She's a no BS, get it done, face it, heal it, feel it, reveal it, move on.
Yeah.
Ladies, I have loved being with all of you here today. Thank you for showing up for others. Here we are. We're going to pop the gift in, and you're going to absolutely get an email, which it'll be there for you, so you can have it on hand. You'll get a couple of follow-ups as well. What I'd like to say and invite you to, though, today is just for today and for the next 2 days, if you've enjoyed this summit, if you want to be in the next summit and the next one after that, we do 2 a year, and we bring it together, whatever the thematics are that showed up. So the Seen and Sovereign just showed up as a thematic. It's the theme, just it bursts itself through the community of women that come together, and then we work towards it. It's gentle, and more importantly, it's about finding your voice and creating content so that you start to see where you can and you cannot, and what's in the way, be it the text in the way, be it your background, your style, your message, your voice, your confidence. There are so many things that get in our way from being seen and sovereign. But if you want to evolve your visibility, if you want to have a community of women, if you want to have champions in your court, if you want to have my expertise, of course, as a producer, and Inga's, if you want to be shown this is the tech that's easy right now, this is the way AI and video are going. If this sounds fun to you, we meet twice a month, and you've got a library of videos to go back over looking anything, if there's any part of your visibility journey. You'll also be in the gift. There's a 5-day challenge. If you've never done that challenge, it's a great starting place to see if you're ready to make videos. Nearly everybody that comes on the challenge over 5 days, 5 hours, 5 weeks, you can do it in your own time, changes and gets themselves on video. That is my mission, that women get seen on the feed and get paid for it. I absolutely want women at any age, at any stage, to really be out there and embracing our ability to connect, communicate, and belong with each other in whatever area of life. There's such diversity here and such diversity in the group. So today, if you prepay, it's $999 for a year. So it's less than a cup of coffee a day to come and stay in the community with us. And you'll get access to the library. In 2 days' time, the price will go up, and you can join on a monthly rate if you want, if that feels like too much of a stretch for you. But I really want you to invite yourself to think, a year from now, have I been in community with women? Have I been up-leveling my visibility? Have I been making regular videos? Am I getting feedback? It's that kind of true video marketing support that just doesn't exist out there. And I am 100% committed to women being seen as their authentic self online for others to find them. So many of you have been with us for a long time. And if you want to be part of the community, there is a link to join up. And for the beautiful women who are, I don't know, maybe Ren, can you drop that in the chat? I don't even know where is Ren still with us? So you get, there's a membership, you'll click on that, you'll get a link, there's a checkout page, it'll tell you all the different things where we meet and what you get. And then you get invited and you become part of a Kajabi portal, and then we meet on Zoom. So it's very simple. You don't have to overthink it. You can go back and watch the videos. You can go at your own pace, but it really is actually being in community that I've seen where people have the big breakthroughs, and we go into breakout rooms and things like that. So please look at the gift. Please think about if you want to be seen and sovereign again, if you want to come to a summit, feel supported, get the promotional material, really feel inspired by other women and seen. I think we all feel seen, and that we get to move into the edges of the new, which is really, for so many of us, we're our first generation. And so thank you for showing up, for yourselves, for each other, for the clients that are out there, for people watching on the replay in whatever year, whatever platform, wherever it is. Thank you. And it's an absolute privilege and an honor to be here. I'm so grateful. Thank you.